happy I am to be back in the studio.
Video. This was the week that Tony Blair surprised no one at all by saying goodbye and urged us to think. Think about life before BT. Got that wrong. Screwed it up before I even started. A time when mobile phones were the size of house bricks. Now you can slip one into your shirt pocket. A time when your portable music player held just one CD. Now you can carry around thousands of tracks by Paris Hilton and Scooch in the palm of your hand. A time when you had to go to the newsagent to buy your pornography. Now it pours from your computer like water from a garden hose. And it's all thanks to Tony Blair.
What?
He asked us to recall that 10 years ago the NHS was in a right state, and we had the worst record of care in the Western world. The Middle East was a quagmire of violence and division. Schools were failing their pupils, and vast numbers left education completely unemployable. And the gap between rich and poor had never been greater. And now, 10 years later, and hundreds of billions of our tax pounds have been thrown at these problems, and they're all completely solved. Finally, Tony apologised. If he made any mistakes, which he didn't, he was sorry, which he wasn't, as he hadn't. So it's goodbye, Tony. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. And now, things can only get better as we welcome Gordon Brown with open arms. Hey, he was trying this week, wasn't he? He actually put on his best face and had his teeth cleaned.
Oh, yes. He's become very emotional and sensitive, hasn't he, now?
Has he? That part I missed. He's spruced himself up, that's all I know. Emotional and sensitive.
And the NHS is going to be radically
Oh, yeah,
changed.
sure it is. Mm-hmm. Well, because we're going to pretend that he hasn't actually been holding the reins of power these last 10 years, and that now he's really going to solve things. Right, OK. Gordon Brown launched his leadership bid yet. What's the point? He's going to be leader. No one's... They're reporting it like it's the start of his leadership campaign. And no one's challenging him.
They still could, though, couldn't they?
No.
Well, they could try.
He got himself a haircut that cost, well, in the Sun it says £100, but in other papers it was £135 for a haircut, Luce. Can you believe it?
I can, unfortunately.
That's amazing. That's having your haircut costs £135. He got somebody from Michael John or one of these places that celebrities go to. It's a top people's hairdresser, Luce.
But just for a cut.
I know, and they went around to his place, and it looks like, I don't know, from the shape of his head, it looks like they made a mistake. Maybe they had their eyes. Maybe if you go to his place because of security, you have to be blindfolded.
Oh.
Because they've shorn off a lot at the back, but they've given him something of a cowlick at the front. It just looks, or maybe it's just because part of his hair is grey and the front part is black. But it just looks weird.
Eyebrows been done? A little bit of threading?
Well, threading?
Yeah.
What's that?
That's the latest thing when you have your eyebrows done. Rather than use tweezers, they use a piece of cotton and they thread it to pull it out. And it hurts a lot, but it's supposed to reduce the growth so much.
Well, can't you just trim them?
No.
Why not?
Because that's not good for them. Because you can make them grow back in all the wrong direction.
No, I don't mean trim them right. I don't mean shave them.
No,
I mean
I
just
know,
trim the, because men of an age start having wires grow out of their just above their eyes, where it once was downy hair that all went in the right direction. Alex, back me up on this. Now, at around about our age, you start to have
Our age? What do you think?
yeah, you start to get hair of the consistency of wire. You could keep sheep in a field with the hair that's coming out of my forehead. And it grows in all sorts of different ways that it's not supposed to. And so if you just trim them to the length, because they seem to grow faster as well, and you look in the mirror one day and you look completely normal, and you look in the mirror a couple of days later and you look like you should be in Broadstairs.
But a lot of men don't bother to look after them at all,
Well, I know.
do
They just let them grow
I think it's very
organically.
important to groom them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's good that you do a little bit
Otherwise,
of clippage.
yeah, otherwise you look like a loon.
And the ears? Do you
Otherwise
keep
you
an
look
eye
like
on those as well?
yeah. I use tweezers on my ears.
I don't understand why that happens to men. Why does hair start sprouting out of your ears?
All the places that you don't want hair, it starts to come out.
It's
Yeah.
horrible.
Taking care of the hair in your ears is really difficult as well, because you have to get the light just right and lean your head to one side, and the background is important as well, because it has to be a contrasting colour to your hair, so that your hair shows up. And in a mirror with tweezers, trying to yank those hairs out, it's an absolute nightmare. You need help, really, but who can you go to for help to pull your...
Who'd want to help you in that situation? Oh, dear. Oh, that's horrible. Oh, I'm glad women don't get that.
Well, I don't know. Let me come in there and check.
Don't touch me! I hate you!
And you find hairs that are growing out the side of your ears that are about 3 inches long.
Well, you do get random hairs, don't you, growing on your body?
And so people must, and you can't see this because, as I say, you need the light in the right direction, and you need a contrasting background, and the mirror just so, in order to see these things. But other people looking at you, they see them all the time, and they can see hairs growing out your nose, and
that's the worst thing. Talking to someone who's got obvious nose hair.
Yes.
I mean, you have to look at it.
I know, you can't.
You're thinking, I'm looking at it.
You can't drag your eyes off it. And so the nice thing to do would be to tell someone, because people have seen this hair growing out of the side of your ear like it's an aerial for months, presumably, because the hair doesn't grow that long. It doesn't grow that quick. So why can't they tell you?
Well, because can you imagine
look
saying
like a
to
loon.
someone, would you say to anyone, oh, by the way, there's a few hairs just coming out of your nose there?
Yeah, absolutely.
You wouldn't.
Well, not if they were a stranger, not if I was in a job interview.
But if you knew someone,
yeah.
but not that well, would you tell them? Would you tell Alex if he had a few hairs sprouting out of his nose?
Well, no, because it's none of my business, for a start, and well, he might like it like that.
See, that's the problem.
Well, he looks like one of those organic, no offence here, but it's like an organic, tree-hugging, muesli-eating hippie. And I don't mean to be offensive when I say that.
Oh, dear.
Well, that kind of people likes to let it all grow, because it's, that's nature's thing.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, you're not a metrosexual, are you,
Actually,
Alex?
I don't really pick the best guy.
No. But if it was someone you knew really well, then you'd do them a favour, yeah. I mean, wouldn't you? I mean, if they had, like, bits falling out of their nose.
Well, I bought my husband a nasal trimmer.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, the scissor's no good. It has to be electric.
It does have to be electric.
Why?
And I tweezer his monobrow, so it's just 2 eyebrows now. Well, he does it himself. But when I first saw it, I was like, oh dear, it's all growing all across, that's not right. Anyway,
because you look like a serial killer, don't you? If you only got the one, either that or you look like a member of Oasis.
Well, it is a strange. Yeah, I wouldn't fancy.
I mean, people with one brow, they usually have a picture behind a newsreader. Don't they?
Oh,
Police seeking the.
Well, it's supposed to be quite a sort of scary look, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it does make you look Cro-Magnon. I've got no idea what a Cro-Magnon man looks like, but I'm looking at you, Alex.
I'm looking at a reflection of me.
I do think it's awful how much hair comes off a man, though. All the shaving you have to do all the time as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we have to do a little bit, but it's not so obvious, is it? Well, unless you've got shorts on.
I don't know, your arm's looking a bit furry, Lucy.
Oh, thanks.
Do you shave your arms?
Certainly not. That would be too weird. Arms?
Well, I suppose you get really hairy arms. Suppose you've got hair on your knuckles.
I have got quite hairy arms.
Right.
But I don't mind that. I think that's
Have you ever tried to pull the hairs out of your toes? Because you get really wiry hairs on your toes as a bloke. And it looks a bit... I mean, well, you don't really look at your feet very often until a couple of weeks in the summer, where you pull your socks off, and there they are in all their white, mouldy glory.
Oh, horrible.
And you got hairs growing out of your big toe. And I thought, oh, I'll have that one. And that hurts more than any hair that I've ever pulled out. Of course, there are parts that you don't want to pull hair out at all. But I wouldn't have done... you'd be silly to try that. But try pulling the hair out of your big toe, and you'll never do it again.
Of course, women would never get hair there.
No, of course not.
No.
We'll never admit getting hair
That's
there.
right.
Yeah. Anyway, back to Gordon.
Sorry.
And the other thing about pulling, tweezering your hair out of your eyebrows is that the older you get, the less eyebrow hair you get.
Yeah.
So if you're yanking it out, it might never grow again, and then you'll be left with, I don't know,
Well, women used to pull out too much, didn't they?
Yeah, well, you look like a Star Trek villain.
Well,
This
because
kind
if
of
you
no
carry on...
eyebrow look.
Because you can draw them in, but then, of
What
course...
does that mean?
Well, some women used to pull them all out and then
and actually
use the
draw them
pencil.
on. Well,
Yeah.
that's insane. Why would you do that?
Oh, it's hot. Imagine when you take your makeup off at night as well. You must look really scary. How did Paul Gordon get us onto this?
I have no idea. Gordon Brown launched his leadership bid yesterday with a £130 haircut. They came to him.
Nice.
He didn't go to them. They came to him. And he still ended up looking like a dope. An electronic auto cue shielded his face during his stirring speech announcing he was going to run for the Labour leadership. Did you see that?
Yeah.
You know, they have these, they're called idiot boards. You believe that's what they're called? They look like, when I first saw these things, I thought they were bulletproof shields. Because they look like just pieces of glass on a stick.
Yeah.
And they're usually on either side of the person. And I just thought it was, because I think the President of the United States, POTUS himself, was the first person I saw use this.
Absolutely.
And I thought that it was some sort of shield against, armed maniacs. But that's where all the words scroll up. It's like this conversation we were having about TV stars the other week, and every time they look into a camera and speak, they're reading it. They're not making it up off the top of their head. TV stars can't do that. They're just, they're doing as they're told.
It looks good.
Even Anton Deck.
No, not them.
And so that's what those glass sheets are. Their speech is being scrolled up. So when they're looking, and that's why they have two of them, so they're not just staring in one space. They can look from one to the other. But somebody positioned this idiot board so that it looked from many angles like he was wearing a veil. All you could see was his eyes.
Oh, dear.
And our next fundamentalist Prime Minister is... so this electronic auto cue shielded his face during his stirring speech, making him look like he was wearing a veil. To make matters worse, 5 TV stations, including Sky News, split viewers' screens to cut to the unveiling of a new Bobby Moore statue at Wembley by Tony Blair. And the audience's gaze was drawn from the earnest and dour Gordon Brown to the beaming PM. So it's like depression on one side, happiness on the other.
Suddenly the weight's lifting.
Yeah. The triple whammy came when canvassing in Enfield in North London as Mr. Brown tried to follow I wish I'd seen this. He tried to follow a TV crew into a house. Why? I've got no idea. It was one of these, photo opportunities he was pretending to meet and be pleasant to normal people, like you and me. Well, you, anyway. The cameraman, so he's following this camera crew into the house in order to just, smile and be happy with people. And the cameraman slammed the door in his face. So the camera crew was inside, and he was outside, and he had to ring the bell to be let in.
Oh, dear. That's embarrassing.
What a start, eh? The Chancellor had prepared for his big day by having his unruly greying hair styled by crimper Kevin Graham. Oh, he's very good. At the Michael John Salon in London's poshest Mayfair. Dour Mr. Brown even smiled more than usual after having his teeth polished. He also got a new suit. The suit that he was used to wearing apparently had the lining mended with gaffer tape.
Are you serious?
That's what I read.
Really?
And so he went out and he bought a made-to-measure suit costing over £1,000 from Timothy Everest, who does, the stars. So he bought a £1,000 suit. He had his teeth whitened, and he had a £135 haircut. So it's all change. It's not about presentation anymore. It's all about the substance. This is LBC.
The Weekend.
Hey, how are you?
What about this weather, eh? Absolute bleeping nightmare. I think we got we got May's weather in April, and we're getting April's weather in May. It's a topsy-turvy, crazy, wavy world we're living in now.
But the gardens are pleased.
Yeah, oh yeah, they are pleased. Yeah, you can feel the lushness bursting from every pore.
My garden does look healthier, certainly.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, absolutely. But it washes the dust off the leaves, for a start, so that whatever sun we eventually get can penetrate.
Saved me washing the car as well.
I know, my car's the cleanest it's ever been.
And it was just when it was getting all the the bird poo is starting to stick really hard, so it came at a good time.
And it's about the time that bird poo starts to turn purple.
Yeah.
What are they eating?
It's those berries, isn't it?
Well, it must be, I suppose. But
It's grim.
But there must be a lot of these berries. I don't know what they are. But always around this time of year, purple bird poo, which is the...
Cherries?
That's the title of the new album by Prince, by the way.
Purple bird poo.
Purple bird poo, yeah.
Oh, it's catchy.
Literally can't wait.
He doesn't do music like that.
Prince?
Yeah.
Well...
It's much better than that.
Well, we'll see.
different.
The new album, 3121, he's doing this series of gigs at O2. Is that what we're calling it now? The Dome?
Yeah.
Problem is, nobody wants to go to the Dome, because it's all the way over there, and you've got to take this Toy Town train system, which, you know, and each train holds 5 people. So you'll be stuck there forever.
I'd like to go, though. I've still never been to the Dome, ever.
No. Why would you want to go?
Isn't that terrible, though? Don't you think we should have all gone by now?
Well,
As
part
Londoners?
of me wants wished that I had gone when it was
For the Millennium.
yeah, whatever that thing was. What was that thing called?
The Millennium Dome?
Yeah, well, that's what it's called. But
Yeah.
they had an exhibition inside.
Yes.
I can't even remember what was in it now.
A giant human being that you could walk through.
Oh
or something.
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It
Where was the
didn't serve
exit?
an awful lot of purpose, did it, really?
But I wish I'd gone just so I could be, you know, unpleasant about it. It's just one of those things that you wish that you'd been to, but.
I think
Don't
because
really
it was
care that
talked
much.
about so much at the
Yeah.
time and it cost so much money, as Londoners, I think we were all like, ugh. So, nobody bothered.
Well, nobody wants to go there. That's the big problem. That's the big problem for anybody who wants to put on a show there, is no one wants to go there, because it's the other end of the world, unless you
Yeah.
unless you live out there, in which case I'm very sorry. It's not my fault. There's nothing I can do about it. Yeah, it says that the wet and unsettled weather is going to continue until the end of May.
Oh, no.
The end of May, and you're quite right.
Oh no!
Is the phrase.
Oh, that's such a shame.
I know.
I really want it to be sunny.
Because we all relaxed in April, and we put our winter clothes away,
I
didn't we?
didn't. I could have done, and I thought, no, I'm not going to chance
Well, I
it.
bet you got your summer clothes out.
I certainly pulled them out, yeah.
What a waste of time that was.
Wore them for about a week.
Exactly. And now we've been thrust back into the horror. The horror. Mind you, this week, was it this week? I've lost all faith in the Met Office. I just don't think they've got any idea. They're just making this stuff up. They're just guessing. Because on, I think it was Monday, something like that, it was, the forecast said, a perfect bright sunny day. This was on Monday for the forecast at that moment. It was raining outside all day.
Did you ring up? Excuse me.
Well, if they can't tell us, if they can't predict, I mean, think of this, if they can't predict what the weather is now, no prediction required, you just look out the window and you type it into your little computer. So if they can't tell us what the weather is now, then how can they tell us what the weather is going to be like in 5 days' time? And next
Maybe they need to
Tuesday...
have a disclaimer that they always say, here's the weather, of course it might not be quite this.
And they change their minds all the time. I mean, next Tuesday they said that it's going to be 18 degrees and a bright, sunshiny day. Now, remember that next Tuesday as you're sheltering from the thunderstorm that will be...
This coming Tuesday is
Yeah.
supposed to be lovely.
Yes.
Excellent, I'm off.
Well, don't make any plans, because they don't know what they're talking about. And it does make you wonder that, you know, these people, these are the same people that we're relying on to tell us what our actions, us, you know, leaving our TVs on and not buying diesel cars or going around in a G-Whiz, what our appalling actions in to the Earth is going to have in 50 years' time. These are the same people that can't tell us what's happening now.
Oh, it's sad. I want it to be hot, though. The end of May's always warm, isn't it, usually?
Met Office spokesman Keith said people were feeling the damp and chill more because April had been unusually hot and dry. He added they got used to wearing shorts and suddenly they can't anymore. This is the Met Office. Why the hell would he say that? Your mother would say that. Oh, you're feeling the chill now.
Even they're gutted.
The good news is that boffins predict that early June will herald a long summer, which is likely to be hotter and drier than average. And it's all thanks to global warming. Not first. Give me somebody else.
Okay, but I've got to call them back. You have to talk to Alex.
Oh, really?
Oh, no.
Let's do tweezer tips, Alex.
Hi, Mandy.
I don't use... I can't... I'm really bad with pain. I can't even handle tweezers. I have to use the electronic thingy.
What, a buzzer?
Yeah. I know it doesn't do... You know, it'll grow back quicker, but I can't. I'm a real pain wuss.
An electronic what?
Trimmer.
For your where?
Nose, ears.
Do you trim your beard?
Yeah, but it's pointless because it just starts growing rogue hairs like 2 minutes later.
There's an advert in my gym with somebody has shaved 2 kiwi fruit. You see that?
No.
It's an advert for a gentleman's shaver. Why they would shave 2 kiwi fruit? Have you got a picture of that in your mind?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Why would they shave 2
painful.
kiwi fruit?
I don't know if I can ask, but...
Hey, Mandy.
Hi, darling.
Mandy.
Yes,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm super. Thanks for asking.
You've got to go onto YouTube,
YouTube.
right? And know in the search thing,
Yeah.
you've got to type in Gordon Brown picking his nose.
Oh, yeah. I've seen this before. It's really unpleasant.
It's from Question Time.
Yeah. Question time. Oh, Prime Minister's question time.
Yeah.
Not the TV
No,
program.
Jeremy Paxman.
He didn't pick his nose on Jeremy Paxman.
Oh, he did. And he picked it and he put it
And
straight
flicked
in his
it.
mouth.
Oh, no, he didn't.
He did.
No, this is when he picked his nose, and Lucy's holding her head. He picked his nose behind the Prime Minister at Prime Minister's question times,
No,
not on the TV
Jeremy
programme.
Paxman. You look,
Really?
I promise you. And he then did it again, and then he wiped it on his tie.
Oh.
This piece of footage has had over 25,000 hits.
Well, it'll have 25,000 more before bedtime.
It's so funny.
It's awful.
It is awful. This is going to be our Prime Minister.
Well, listen, who doesn't pick their nose in the comfort of their own home? Is
Well,
it-
not on Question
Yeah,
Time.
not on TV. No, you're right.
It was Question Time.
Like he's surprised that cameras are actually pointing at him.
It was unbelievable when he wiped it on his tie. I was watching it and I was just
Gobsmacked.
terrible. Yeah.
Did he wipe it on the back of his tie?
No, the front.
Not the front.
Yes.
Was it a plain tie or did it have a pattern?
Can't remember. I only
must-
watched it once. It made me feel sick.
It must have had a pattern, thereby concealing the.
Well, no, because he
Dirty
was eating
deed.
it. He was wiping his finger. He'd eaten a bogey.
This is one of the most awful conversations I've ever had, Mandy.
It's not my fault.
It's made all the worse because I've got a vivid mental image of him doing it as well.
Well, you telling me when you get home you're not going to look at it.
I'm absolutely not going to look at it. I might look at it tomorrow after breakfast.
I bet you do. Yeah, tomorrow. I bet you look at it. I bet Lucy does too.
Well, you've given us a lot of homework to do, Mandy, and
In the search bar. Just
I'll absolutely do that, yeah.
Gordon Brown picking his nose.
Gordon Bennett. All right, thanks a lot, Mandy.
You take care.
Cheers, dear.
Ah, you're okay.
Words. Thank you.
So we've just seen that clip, and
Oh. It's horrible.
well, he's got this whole this thing where he's surreptitiously trying to do it. I mean, he's sitting on the. Now, this wasn't in Question Time. I'm not sure that Mandy actually got that right, but the clip that we found was in Prime Minister's Question Time,
Yeah.
where he's sitting on the front bench, which means that. Not only are cameras pointing at him, but there's hundreds of people on the benches racked in front of him, all staring at him, right? All eyes are on Gordon. You can't drag them off him. And he's got this sort of surreptitious thing going, like like if he doesn't stick his finger up his nose to the knuckle, no one will see him do it. Like so, he's got a he's part
One of those quick ones.
yeah, part of it is he's pretending to think. So he's got his hand on his chin like this. So he's like, like, you know, like. But then he just sort of wanders up a bit and has a little bit of a route around. Not even with a JCB have I seen anyone dig that much.
Dear.
And then he just has a sort of his thumb goes in there and his finger and it's just
He
like
does eat it.
rooting around and then he plays his fingers across his lips.
Oh.
Like he's just having a good think, you know, like Rodin's The Thinker. Maybe that's what Rodin was actually had in mind when he did the statue.
Oh, didn't all children learn that eating bogies is not nice? Oh.
And then he does the thing with his tie, and it looks as though he places what he hasn't consumed now, sort of like a
saving it for later.
Yeah, like a squirrel. He just puts it behind the tag in his tie, along with all of the others, and the weight, presumably, of those will keep the tie in place, and it's something to snack on later.
No wonder he needed a new suit. He's stashing all that away. Mind you, Prescott looked like he was having fun, didn't he, on the other side? Fast asleep.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah.
Oh, my eyes were on Gordon. Prescott, Big John was asleep, eh?
Mind you, I think Gordon looked like he was struggling to stay awake, wasn't he? He was sort of trying to get himself awake again. Maybe the odd pick just got him going again.
Well, it must be really hot. Isn't it really hot in there? I mean, because they've got that funnel, that big, it looks like a tower, but it's actually a funnel, isn't it, to take the hot gases, and there's plenty of that in there, to remove them. It's like an old age air conditioning type of thing. All the hot gases go up that, it looks like a tower, but it's actually an air conditioning system. They just rise up the funnel and out.
Okay. They'd need to.
Oh, I've got some hot gases building up now. Just having thought about that is. I'm feeling bilious, Luce.
Do you not find as well when you watch, say, someone picking their nose? Does it make you want to check your nose? Because it makes me feel like checking my nose.
Well,
all the
I know.
time.
Yeah. And once you started, you can't stop.
Yeah, it becomes like an obsession.
Yes.
It's like, oh God, it's terrible. Anyway, I'll stop now.
Thank you. Hi, Louise.
Hi, Nick.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Great.
Good. You know about Gordon Brown, like, sort of giving himself a makeover?
Yeah.
I think now, that's because in politics now, I think that they're all sort of saying the same thing, aren't they? Oh, we'll get the NHS started, etc. So now, I think people judge them more on how they look and how they interact with people.
Completely.
Yeah, it's like they're running for president or something. Rather than...
The Americanization of British politics is complete. No one is interested in what they say about the issues anymore, because we know they're all lying all the time. And so we just judge them on who we like. That's why Tony was so successful, because he just had this chameleon-like thing. You could be statesman-like if he was, addressing heads of state, and he could drop his H's and go all glottal stoppish when he was on Richard and Judy as like man of the people. So he had this sort of charm pouring out of him, which is why people liked him so much. Not because of what he did, but because of how he appeared on TV, which is why Gordon is screwed. He better enjoy the brief period that he has in power, because it's not going to last very long.
People might warm to him.
Yeah, right. Much like they did to Darth Vader at the end of Star Wars. He wasn't so bad, really. It was just circumstances that made him evil, yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of like celebrities, really, so...
That's exactly what they are, yeah. It's, the old adage is that politics is show business for ugly people. And Gordon Brown's got that down. He's got it down.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks a lot, Louise. How's Barnsley treating you, by the way? Awful, I bet.
Yeah, I hope the weather gets better, because I've got to wear a dress in 3 weeks for races.
You got to wear what?
A dress in 3 weeks for a race night.
Well, you're going to race in a dress?
No. I'm going to a race night, so I hope it gets, like, hotter.
What kind of races?
Horses.
Oh, right. You don't have to wear a dress to go to the horses.
We do, because we've got a big posh hospitality box and all the beer's free.
Oh, one of those all the beer's free. Yeah, so you want to look your best. You're tiptoeing over the vomit. Okay, best of luck with that, Louise. Cheers, ta-ra.
Bye.
It's, hi, Barnett. Hello, Beth.
Hi, how are you?
I'm all right, thanks.
You know what? Good evening.
Beth.
Both of you.
Hey, Beth.
Yeah, I said good evening, both of you there.
Yeah, we're saying hi, Beth.
Yeah. In fact, first of all, you've made my day. I haven't laughed for a very long time.
Oh.
And tonight I just giggled and giggled and giggled.
Well, you've got to have a laugh.
Yeah. Oh, Elvis is a wonderful radio station.
No doubt about that.
man.
All right, thanks a lot,
Let me
Beth.
tell you what happened. First of all, I want to tell you, I was at my bogey.
Oh, nice. We're back on this again.
And it appears, I saw a documentary. When you eat your bogies, it helps you to develop your immune system.
Right.
Yeah. So I've tested it, and it tastes salty. And the second topic is, I have hair inside my ears, both ears.
Right.
They are growing. And I also have hair, don't get offended, in my anus.
Oh,
And it's...
when she started, I got to go, Beth, but thanks a lot. All right, you keep chuckling. Okay, cheers. When she started, I thought, well, this can't possibly get any worse.
It sure did.
Yeah. I got that one wrong. Oh.
Oh, she made me giggle.
She was like that. Do you remember that giant woman who used to do the cooking? And she used to giggle all the time.
Rusty Lee?
Yeah,
Rusty
that's
Lee,
it,
yeah.
That infectious laugh.
I know, you just couldn't stop, could
Yeah.
you? Whatever happened to Rusty Lee?
I think I saw her doing a bit more cooking on this morning, you know, a few weeks back.
Hey, you know, Patrick Moore's very upset about all those cookery shows.
Is he?
Because they're all for women.
Yeah, didn't you read that?
Oh, I missed that.
Patrick Moore versus women. Yeah, he came out fighting this week. Because he's just celebrated something or other, hasn't he? He's like 150 years doing the same show, something like that. It's been stapled to the seat all this time. Sir Patrick Moore, the veteran BBC astronomer, has complained that the corporation is being ruined by women.
Oh, no.
Yes. The 84. You feel like patting him on the head, go, oh, 84. Can I get you anything? The 84-year-old presenter of The Sky at Night said that since he began working at... I still haven't got over...
I can't either. I can't believe what she was saying. Oh.
if only we didn't have to leave her, we'd have heard more. Where would she have gone from there?
Only way is up.
It doesn't bear thinking about, does it? Oh, I'm hot now. Oh.
You need to take your sweater off.
I know. Oh, okay. But don't be offended, she said. But
That was the thing. It was like she did the experiment for us.
Yeah.
Very kindly.
that's right. Salty, eh? Well, it'll put hairs on your... The 84-year-old presenter of The Sky at Night said that since he began working in television, it had become much worse. In an interview with the Radio Times, it's amazing they printed this, because you'd have thought that, you know, because the Radio Times, isn't that a BBC publication? Because it used to be only... They used to... It were grand when I were a lad. Because you used to have to buy 2 magazines to find out what was going to be on TV. You had to buy the Radio Times, which perversely showed what was going to be on BBC TV, and then you had to buy the TV Times, which showed you what was going to be on ITV. Just the one channel. A whole magazine for one channel. Monday night, The Sweeney at 9 o'clock.
Packed with interviews, though.
Oh yeah, bound to have been, yeah. Interviews and contests. Anyway, in an interview with the Radio Times to celebrate the 50th anniversary of The Sky at Night, he said, the trouble is that the BBC is now run by women and it shows. Soap operas, cooking, quizzes, kitchen sink plays. You wouldn't have had that in the golden days, he said. Now, is that actually true? Is it that women are running things now and that's why all television is cooking and celebrity this, that and the other, and it's just all so wet?
Is it also wet? I like the cookery programmes.
Well, they're wet, though, aren't they? I mean, you sit there eating baked beans out of a tin can, watching people cook cordon bleu, this, that and the other. You're never going to try that.
Oh, it makes you really hungry watching it, though.
Oh, don't get us started.
Yeah, so you get up and have a piece of toast. Or you sit where you are and root around your nose, see what you can find. On the subject of female newsreaders, he said, these jokey women are not for me. Oh, for the good old days. Oh, God, don't get me started on jokey newsreaders. That gnome that does the sports on the BBC Breakfast News, they had him doing stock car racing today. I mean, they had an article about stock car racing. So they couldn't just talk about it, they had to film him doing it. Yeah. Why?
They like to paint the picture.
That whole programme's become like Blue Peter. It really has. They had somebody on, because people can't buy houses anymore, because it used to, like 10 years ago, it used to be 20% of your income would be spent on a mortgage, and now it's 40%, and
if not more.
Yeah. And so people can't afford to buy houses, which is a pretty serious topic. And so they had somebody in, they actually taxied some expert in, and I swear he was on for about 30 seconds at most, and then they had to cut to this gnome doing stock car racing, and he was on for, it must have been almost 15 minutes. On and on and on it went. So they really got their priorities straight down there. I would like to see 2 independent wavelengths, said Sir Patrick Moore, one controlled by women and one for us, controlled by men. I think it may eventually happen. Soaps could then safely be produced and watched by women, Sir Patrick said. I was in hospital once and I watched a Oh, you think that it's bad so far? You just wait. I was in hospital once and I watched a whole episode of EastEnders. I suppose it's true to life, but so is diarrhea, and I don't want to see that on television either. Top female BBC executives include Jana Bennett, director of BBC Vision, who has responsibility for BBC One and BBC Two, as well as digital channels 3 and 4. Huh. Sir Patrick's comments echo criticisms in 2004 by Alistair Milne. He used to be DG or MD or one of those. He used to be a higher up, right?
Right.
Who blamed women for making the BBC dumb, dumb, dumb. Said he believed that programmes were terrible. Mr. Milne, who was Director General, that's right, from 82 to 87, said at the time, "It just seems to me that the television service has largely been run by women for the last 4 or 5 years, and they don't seem to have done a great job of work. There is no innovation, constant makeovers, and far too many cookery and gardening programmes. Dumb, dumb, dumb," he said. And you can add to that celebrity shows. Here, it's not about cooking, or makeovers, or painting your wall magnolia. It's got some sort of celebrity thing in it.
Mm.
And is that the reason why?
Well, I don't like the makeover things.
I'm not pointing any fingers, Luce, or apportioning any blame, but it's your fault, Lucy. Your fault.
Listen again, listen again. Nick Abbott.
You're wondering what it's all about, and I can't tell you because I don't know myself.
Hey, John.
Oh, good evening, Nick.
John.
Oh, the Dome business.
Yes.
It's got its own dedicated underground station. You don't get there on the Docklands.
Is that right?
Yes, it's on the Jubilee line.
What's it called?
North Greenwich.
North Greenwich?
Yeah.
That's stretching it a bit.
It's quite a flat station.
North Greenwich, might as well call it South East Hampstead. It's nowhere near. North Greenwich, eh? Oh, so you don't have to go on that Toy Town railway system?
No, it's a brand new station.
Huh. I did not know that.
No, because I'd heard you say that before, so I thought you could only get there on the underground.
Right, well, I did. On the
the
overground, yeah. The DLR, or whatever it's called.
Oh, and...
All right, well,
another thing.
Thanks for the good news, John, yes.
We've just got some points on the Eurovision. I thought we were going to get nil.
Oh, really?
We've now got 7.
I suppose I should be watching that now, shouldn't I? When does it finish? In 11 o'clock?
But Serbia's got 158 and we've got 7.
Is there now... is Serbia the transsexual...
I don't know, I'm only just looking at the scoreboard.
Right. Is Terry drunk yet?
No, I'm not listening, I'm just watching.
Okay. All right, thanks, John.
Yes, then.
Cheers, ta-da.
Bye.
What's that, Luz?
Which, what?
I don't know, you look like you just had an electric charge
I just put my eye drops in, because when Beth called, she made me laugh so much my eyes dried out. So I thought I'd better zoom them up again.
Right.
Did you see any of Eurovision before you left? It was, well, our entry wasn't the best. What a surprise.
Does this TV work?
Yes, I should think it does.
On the side, down the bottom. Yep, down a bit.
No, I got it. It's gone green. Here we go. Sky 7, so...
Is it coming on?
No, it's on. I think it's on the Sky channel. So,
So then you can see how we're doing.
Oh, no, I've turned it off. Oh, no, here we go. CNN.
Is Serbia the one with the women who were singing, and there was one front woman doing the main stuff? Because they look quite good.
I thought that the, here we go. I thought that the people that were going to win it was some transsexual with a star on it, on its head.
Oh, that's the one that looked like Sue Pollard.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's exactly right. Okay, so the results so far, in case you're interested. Is anybody interested?
No, No!
is... it looks like Serbia is way out in the lead, and oh, look, Ireland has got 5 points. They're last.
Oh,
Ireland.
they normally do quite well,
they normally
don't
win
they?
it. Yeah, they must have done something really bad. And there's lots of bright flashing colours to make it look like it's exciting. Does anybody actually... I mean, Italy bowed out of this contest because it's so silly. Italy, with all their great popular music that you can... that everyone can think of right now. No one can think of anything that Italy has done apart from the occasional dance track.
Yeah, I can't think of anything.
I was going to say Demis Roussos, but he's Greek.
Yeah.
There's the... no one can think of a single song that's come from Italy. There's probably some crooner.
These days, they don't reflect any of our music, really, do they?
It's like some parallel world.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's for 8-year-old girls.
Yeah. Listen to this. This is nothing like the music we normally produce.
Yeah.
There you go.
Wasn't Morrissey mentioned in the same breath as this contest? Wasn't he originally mooted to be taking part?
Was he? What
Yeah.
a strange idea.
Morosi.
That would have been extraordinary to see him do it.
Yeah.
Really weird.
Yeah, in a flight attendant's uniform. Yeah. Here is Charles in Worthing. Not Charles Worthing.
No.
But Charles in Worthing. Yes, Charles.
Good evening, sir. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, yeah, loud and clear.
I'm standing on a chair to make sure you don't get across.
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
So, look, what I rang about is recently on the news about all these millions of pounds got to be spent on the roads, or has been spent on the roads, and they've got to spend more millions on the repairs. Well, the repairs, what they do down here at Worthing, little patch here and a little patch there, and leave a hole, go on a bit further, do another patch, and they last about 3 months. Now, who's getting the backhander for keep okaying these repairs? I think the answer to this is to put a woman in charge of the finances, and that will do it.
Right. Well, you've obviously given this a lot of thought.
Pardon?
Please get off the chair, Charles. You're making me concerned.
No, I'm sitting down now.
All right. Good. I think even sitting for a man in your condition might be considered dangerous. Lie down.
What is my condition then?
Well, I don't know. You sound like on the verge.
On what verge? Yeah.
Don't laugh either.
on the verge of playing my piano.
Yeah, playing the piano, kicking the bucket, one of those two things. Yeah.
Kick the bucket.
All right, Charles. I'll pass that message on. All right.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, mate.
Yeah.
There was something which I thought was comical about the way money is spent by the government. The audit chief. You know what an audit chief is? He's the guy that the head of the National Audit Office. And that's the office that's supposed to keep track on how the money is, how the government is spending our money, right? Mm-hmm. I've got that right, haven't I? The National Audit Office scrutinises public spending on behalf of Parliament. That's exactly what that is. So, in other words, people can't just start throwing our money around willy-nilly on comics and sweets, because the National Audit Office will raise a finger of objection. These are the people that we have to rely on in order to make certain that our money isn't being squandered. A bloke called Sir John Bourne is the head of the National Audit Office. And he has, on foreign trips in the last 3 years... Well, how much have you spent on foreign trips in the last 3 years?
Oh, well, I didn't go on any last year.
Oh, poor baby.
I'm going on one this year.
Really? Where are you going?
I'm going to Andalusia.
Oh, you don't want to do that.
Why?
Andalusia.
Andalusia?
Yeah, it's great, Andalusia. Where are you going?
Wait. Friliana.
Where? No such place exists.
Yes, it does. It's about an hour away, kind of just into the mountains.
Friliana?
From Malaga. Yeah.
Yeah, where else?
Yeah, well, some people call it Frigliana, and that's definitely wrong.
And rude in Spanish. Yeah. It's one of the worst things you could say.
It's not, is it?
Is that it? Is that where you're going?
Yeah, what do you mean, is that it?
Well, Friliana, no one's ever heard of that. Why are you going there? Andalusia has got some of the most fantastic spots in the whole of Europe. Why are you going there? No one's even heard of it.
But
you're getting a cheap villa, I bet.
It's in Andalusia.
Well, in is not of. It's not of it. It's in it, maybe, but it's not of it. Yeah. You want to go to Granada or
Well, we're going to do a day
Seville.
trip there, to Granada.
You want to go to Cordoba.
Well, I do want to go to Granada. That would be lovely.
Corfu, what a scorcher.
But I think that'd be nice. Got a little villa.
See,
Cool.
exactly. Was I right? You got a cheap villa.
How rude.
Are you taking your mum and your dad and
Certainly
the kids
not.
and you're just going yourself?
Yeah, with my husband.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Even leaving the dog behind.
Oh, poor little doggy.
Oh, no.
Anyway, so how much have you spent in the last 3 years?
Well, we did go on holiday 2 years ago.
Just
so
give me the answer.
I'm just trying to work it out.
Yeah.
Probably about £700.
£700. Okay.
Each?
In the last 3 years, you spent £700 each. So let's say 1,400. Let's say 2,000.
Okay.
This guy, the head of the National Audit Office, has spent £336,000 on trips in the last 3 years.
Oh my goodness.
He's visited destinations like the Bahamas and Brazil, often travelling first class. He's accompanied on most trips by his wife at a cost of £76,000.
Good grief.
Blimey, you could get a hooker for that. According to documents obtained under the Freedom of Information Act, I bet they had to prize them out with a crowbar by the Private Eye magazine. Good for them. The Controller and Auditor General, who has a salary of £164,000 a year, stayed at five-star hotels. I bet he did. The visits included a week-long stay in the Bahamas to attend the Caribbean Organization of State Audit Officers Congress. That must just be something they make up. Oh, I would like to go to the Bahamas. Well, let's just make something up, shall we? The Caribbean Organization of State Audit Officers Congress. Right, and if they held that conference in, like, Clacton, then he wouldn't have had time to go. But as it was in the Bahamas...
He thought he'd make the effort.
Yeah,
maybe he asked
cleared
them
his
to
schedule.
arrange the meeting.
Yeah, a spokesman for the National Audit Office said all John's trips were purely business-related. That's why he takes his wife with him. And that's the way the government is run, boys and girls. Their slogan, thanks for all the money.
If you're thinking of surrendering your endowment...
Me love you long time.
I really mean that. Hey, Aid. Aid. Oh, Aid. He's gone. Ah, that was his big chance. I'll try him one more time. Oh, Aid. Gone. So it looks like, now the voting on this programme's about to end, isn't it? The voting on this is just embarrassing. We're second from bottom. The only people that are worse, that got fewer points than us, are Ireland.
Oh,
and I bet Wogan is saying, "Oh well, it's because you'll be saying it's because."
How many more to give their results?
I've no idea.
Because don't forget, if it's United Kingdom with the U, we're towards the end anyway. So we'll give Ireland some more points anyway, just to bump them up. So we'll come bottom.
So we'll come bottom.
Yeah. If we're lucky.
Yeah, and Wogan will be saying something of the order of, "Oh well, it's because we marched into the Middle East, and the whole world's very upset, so they're not voting for us because of our involvement with the mad cowboy in the White House."
Absolutely.
And that's not the reason at all. People aren't voting for us because it was embarrassing, childish tripe. I mean, that was just. What's going on there? I mean, it's like the Tinky Winky, Dipsy, La-La, and whatever it was.
Tinky Winky, Dipsy, La-La, or Pooh.
Yeah.
I know, because all the other entries look so much more mature.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
We got...
A woman
really
with a star
good.
on her head.
Yes, a woman or man, we've got no idea, with a star on her head, who does look like Sue Pollard wrapped in Bako foil.
Ready for roast.
Yeah, oven ready, yeah. Greased up and ready for the table. So it looks like we're going to come bottom. Good thing, too. And Morosi breathes a sigh of relief.
Oh, darling, I don't work before 10 in the morning and never after 4:30 in the afternoon.
And so, we came second bottom. Only Ireland were considered worse than us.
Oh, no!
Oh, yes. That's just embarrassing, isn't it? I mean, we came we lost to Serbia.
Oh, no!
With all the great music that comes from that country, like, no, can't think of anything right now. Macedonia beat us with all their excellent tunes that no one can think of right now. And they're going crazy. Serbia won. It'll shortly become... they'll shortly realise that next year they're going to have to put this ceremony on, which of course will bankrupt them. Oh, I'm going to turn it off now. I can't stand it. So I still haven't seen the winner yet. We've just got a sea of flags, and of course fighting will break out a little later on. Is it the weirdo with the star on its head? Is that who won it? Or is it someone?
I don't remember what country it was.
Are there people that look normal? Anyway, we'll find out, because they're bound to insist that they do it again. Where's Lucy at?
Making your tea?
Oh, gosh, taking a long time. Get on with it, girl. She's running. Hey, Aid.
Hello, Nick. Oh, I feel such a fool. Sorry about that before the news. I hit the secrecy button somehow on the phone.
He hit the secrecy button.
Let's see, I can only do as Tony does, and, you know, keep apologising, whether I mean it or not, you know.
Right. So have you been watching this mess?
I watched a bit of it because she was talking about it, so I put it on in the background, but I haven't heard any of Terry's comments. How does he get away with that? Because he just insults all the foreigners, don't he? Usually. Unless it's toned it down, but that's how I remember it.
Yeah, no, it's a good long time since I sat through that. But, yeah.
But, you know, who can waste a life watching that?
Exactly.
And, talking of, you know, you thought Deal or No Deal was the epitome of, boredom. Have you seen the new thing that Nicky Campbell does?
Oh, Nicky Campbell?
It's a copy. I've watched a couple of minutes, so I couldn't stand anymore. It's a copy of Deal or No Deal, and instead of boxes, it's lights.
It's what?
Lights on a table.
Lights?
You have to pick. If you pick a white light, you win money. If you pick a red light, you lose money. And that's basically it. No questions again.
You're kidding. What channel is this on?
ITV. It's suitable. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so...
Nicky Campbell?
Yeah. Hey.
I don't get it. I'm mystified. It's like that's the only thing I can come up with. I mean, of all the people in all the world that you'd want to present a daft game show, why him?
I've no idea. Does he still do radio?
I don't know. Does he still do radio? Doesn't he fashion himself a serious broadcaster?
I think so.
It'd be like, I can't remember anybody's name. It'd be like that guy who does the Today programme, whatever his name is.
Jay Leno.
Jay Leno? No, the Today programme on Radio
John Humphreys.
Oh, yeah, like John Humphreys going and doing it. Except without the gravitas.
Well, it's certainly, it's certainly changing his image, whether he wants to or not, then, doing a daft game show.
Well, that's where all the money is, I suppose.
I mean, time was, game shows used to be... Yeah, you used to be able to participate in it yourself.
Yeah, that's right. You sat at home and you tried to answer the questions or guess how much the toaster was and try and remember the cuddly toy and the steak knives and all. There was some sort of joiny-inny thing, but these days, I don't know. Maybe we're just so. By the way, the lesbian, transgender, whatever with the star on its head didn't win. It was people who actually dressed in suits and a tie. So there's a clue for you. What are you looking at there, Alex?
The TV in the other studio.
Oh, right. Because I've banned you from having the TV on in there.
Exactly.
All right. Well, I'm going to turn this one off. No, they look relatively normal. They've got black suits, white shirt, black tie.
That's probably about the only normal-looking thing on there.
Which sounds like a song by Ian Dury, doesn't it? Sweet Jean Vincent. Yeah, they're probably the only normal... And let that be a lesson to you all. Be normal.
Have you been watching... I mean, that's probably something you're not going to watch. You've been watching the Vernon Kay thing?
Vernon Kay? No.
No, I mean, that's old game shows brought back every week with... Well...
Vernon Kay. There's another one I don't understand. Can somebody please explain Vernon Kay to me?
There's a bloke at, sort of 10, 20 years ago once had a career because anybody with an accent wants to go on TV, would they? At one time.
But, I mean, I get Ant and Dec, okay? I understand Ant and Dec because they're, you know, cute and a little bit cheeky, but not too much that the granny wouldn't be offended. You know, that nice woman who called with the hair earlier on, she wouldn't have been offended, for instance. So I get Ant and Dec, and I get Brucey and Tarby and, you know, all of these sort of light entertainment people. But Vernon Kay, I'm sorry, but I just don't... There just doesn't seem to be anything there. He's like a cardboard cutout. You might as well have just a picture on the stage. Back me up here, Luce. Vernon Kay, do you understand? Do you get it?
Doesn't really do it for me. I find, well, he's fairly amusing.
Is he? Maybe I just haven't given him a chance, but it just didn't seem to be... He seemed to be completely blank, like there's just nothing there, like no personality or anything.
It's okay. It's not the best person in the world, but then again, he's not. You know, he don't overly annoy me.
Speaking of him, he's going to team up with Bruce Forsyth. They're going to team up for a series called the Saturday Night Show.
Oh,
Members of the public will battle it out in a string of entertainment challenges. Guess what channel? Your UK Living? No. ITV4? No. BBC One. That is awful.
Will his wife be on the show?
Patrick Moore was right.
I had the misfortune, Dick, earlier of catching some of that grease thing.
The what?
That grease thing on ITV.
The what?
The grease thing.
Grease! The grease thing!
You know, one of the they must be really scraping the bottom of the barrel. One of the panellists is Sunita.
Yeah, with that excellent, that excellent old hit of hers, So Macho, the worst song that's ever been released by anyone, ever, and I really mean that.
I think that totally killed her career off altogether.
Well, I think she made a ton of money from that song, didn't she? In fact, there was a guy that, have I got this right? The chap that wrote that song, has since found God. And is preaching against the sins of homosexuality. The guy who wrote So Macho.
Yeah, I think you're right, actually. I'm sure that is the story.
Yeah.
Where did he find it? With the supermarket?
I don't, no idea.
But
Grease, why would you want to watch that?
Well, yeah, when you've been work, and it's, you know...
Right, when you've been cleaning toilets all day, you want a little bit of light relief, so to speak, yeah. At the end of the hour-long show that Brucey and Vernie are going to be doing, the audience will vote for the most impressive team. Oh, my word.
It's not that Elvis thing, is it?
Brucey, it's still at the pilot stage, so it might not actually happen, but BBC bosses hope to get it on screen later this year. An insider said Brucey and Vern are two of the best entertainers spanning the generations.
What?
Well, Brucey is. Vern, well, I don't know. I'm prepared to accept your word, Luce.
Yeah, you can't compare the two.
Well, no, not really. Well, not even slightly, no. Because these days we just seem to be making vacuous presenters who just read what's on the teleprompter. In the olden days, when a glimpse of stocking was thought of as something shocking, they had actual entertainers. I mean, people that had grown up by doing vaudeville and the theatre and, you know, dancing and singing and doing the lot. And that's where Brucey came from. And people like Tarbuck and Bob Monkhouse and, you know, all those old scroats who actually had a talent because they worked and paid their dues, you know, by going on in small theatres and getting their eggs thrown at them and beer and abuse and now they're just all freshly scrubbed, stamped out out of a mould at the back of the studio, and here they are. And this is why they haven't got anything to them. It's because they haven't done anything. They were a runner last week, and this week because they look, you know, because the camera likes them. They're a presenter. They're just vacuous. There's nothing there anymore. I just don't get it. And the public lapping it up because they're bland.
Isn't Brucey about the only one of that generation that's either not dead or not on the telly anymore? Because Darby don't do anything anymore, does he?
No. Does Bob Monkhouse do anything anymore?
No, I think he's still dead.
Is Bob Monkhouse dead?
Yeah, well, Mommy, keep up, Nick. It was about 3 years ago.
Really? I don't remember that. Bob Monkhouse is dead, is he?
Yeah.
Nick, you do know Bob is dead.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, like I said. I barely got over it. I tried to blank it out of my life, but he's actually gone. Can you believe it?
I think that was the problem.
Nevermore will we hear him say, Bernie the Bolt. Now, that was a game. I can't remember anything about it, apart from that it was almost impossible to get the cash to fall out of the wall at the end. And Lucy's looking at me like I've lost my mind. The Golden Shot, the granddaddy of all game shows. You don't remember the Golden Shot?
No. I can't remember that, Nick. You're not old enough for that.
I don't, yeah, the Golden Shot. That was, 70s, surely.
And what was the idea of that?
I can't remember what, I think it was, you know, as all proper quiz shows are, question and answer, you know, and the audience could play along at home, and at the end, it seems like such a con, because at the end they had, an actual, bolt put into a crossbow, and the camera was shooting down the arm of the crossbow, and somebody on the phone at home would have to say, to Bernie, left a little bit, right a little bit, and he had to shoot with a bolt a piece of wire as thin as a human hair. So basically, they were never going to do it, and the show always ended in disappointment. Apart from every now and again, just by luck, the bolt would cut the hair and cash. Gold doubloons would fall from the wall. Much excitement all round.
Health and safety built all over that.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Yeah, they'd have to cordon off the entire area, yeah. And they won, what, I think £10. Oh, you've had a stroll down memory lane, Aid, but we must leave that sepia-toned loveliness behind and proceed into the next part of the show. So I've really got to go, all right.
Yeah, just drug yourself back into the plane.
Yeah, all right. Cheers, mate.
Okay, bye-bye.
Ta-ta. It's LBC.
It's a good idea to get someone else's opinion.
Hey, Alex.
Hey, Nick. You all right, mate?
I'm all right, thanks.
Firstly, I'd like Beth's phone number so that I can invoice her for having spat orange juice all over the inside of my car.
Yeah, okay, we'll furnish you with that.
Okay, thank you. Second of all, something mental happened well, not that mental, but it happened in Crystal Palace Parade a couple of days ago. I was outside work, having a cigarette, just watching the world go by.
Having a fag?
Yeah, having a fag. And, a guy pulled over in, a yellow, soft-top Lamborghini with an 07 plate.
Oh, right, so he was being inconspicuous, yes.
Yeah, so he was an idiot. Not that I'm jealous or anything.
Yeah, but...
and he proceeded to have a little chat on his Bluetooth, looking like someone out of 24 or something.
Yeah, like a
plonker. Then he tore off up the bus lane. And, a couple of old dears were waiting across the road. And I saw one of them turn to the other, and she tutted and said, he'll get a fine for that. And I had to giggle, because, wherever she was living probably cost less than that car.
Yeah.
And the fine's really, really not bothering him at all, is it?
Well, no, I wouldn't think. Not if you can spend £130,000 on a bright yellow car, which presumably is not your only car. That's just your fun little runabout.
Exactly, Nick. And if you're going to get a Lamborghini, just in case people aren't going to look at you, I want yellow.
Yes. That's right, yeah.
People aren't going to just twist their necks and break some vertebrae looking at you. I'll have the yellow one.
Because, I mean, it's not as though it arrives quietly either. You can hear it from about 3 miles away.
Well, I'll level with you. I'm a bus driver, and I've had these things pull up next to me and make more noise than the blooming bus.
They do, yeah.
Sit at a traffic light and burble away, 6-litre engine. That's more than the bus has got, and it's pushing 80 people up the road.
And they do sound ill when they're just crawling along, don't they? I mean, they actually want to be driven at 150 miles an hour. That's what the engine's demanding. When it's actually stuck in traffic, it sounds like it's going to fall apart.
But, Nick, do you not agree that it's lunacy to have people pass the test in a 1.0-litre Micra, or, I don't know, Corsa or whatever,
yeah,
and then be legally obliged, not obliged, but legally entitled to sit in this thing that's Concorde to their Sopwith Camel.
To drive a rocket.
Yes. Essentially. And it's governed by the same laws. It's insanity.
It is insane, yeah.
There was a case with an Indian businessman who wanted to treat his 18-year-old son that he was so pleased had passed his driving test first time. So to demonstrate his happiness, bought the kid.
I feel that this is a sad story you're about to tell us.
Well, yeah, it is. It is, because the kid died behind the wheel of a Porsche.
As you would expect, yeah.
Well, exactly, and I think it's mental. As a professional driver, I do think that's mental, that you can pass in a car that's not even 1 litre, and if you've got the money, then step into something that's a completely different machine. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I came here a little while ago, and I said it on the air, and I was chuckling I was laughing so hard I could barely see where I was going, but somebody pulled up beside me, some kids. And doesn't it annoy you when you see people who are like half your age in a car that costs 5 times the price of yours?
I think I heard this, a Ferrari, and they went sideways.
A bright red Ferrari, and he turned right on going up Kensington High Street, and within about 10 yards, he was actually going down the street sideways.
Cool. No
how do you do that, though? How do you go from going straight ahead to sideways? I really don't understand how that's possible, but I've never driven one of those cars.
Power will do to you, Nick.
Yeah.
Also, something else. I was at work a couple of days ago. I'm sitting in a bus in a load of traffic jam, and we're going down Regent Street, and a little, it looked like a miniature train set, but it had people sat on the back of it. And it came crawling past me, and when I looked in my mirror and I did a double take, like out of Scooby-Doo, I went, like, what the hell? And I looked, there's this little train set, and on the back was the 2118 guys off the adverts. And there was a cameraman along the side, and they were obviously filming something. And the guy turned to me, stuck his thumb up, and I was eating a banana because we weren't moving. And he said to me, "Nice banana, sir." And I didn't know what to say to him. It just blew my mind. I just looked at him blankly. Nice banana. What am I meant to say?
Thanks very much.
Yeah.
You could smile proudly.
I didn't grow it. I think it came from the Dominican Republic.
Right. So not all your own work.
No, that's right.
All right, thanks a lot, Alex. Cheers, mate.
Good show, mate.
Cheers. Yeah, I do, don't you find that irritating? I mean, I go by a garage almost on a daily basis that's just stuffed with Ferraris and Lambos, and if it's not a Lamborghini, then it's an Aston Martin, and you just sit there drooling and think, oh, don't you, Alex? Oh, if only we worked for the BBC, you think.
I think I'd be too scared to drive one of those in London, though. I would be terrified to get in it.
Literally, what's
drive.
The point?
I mean,
what is the point?
In a normal car, trying to go around like Hyde Park Corner or something.
Even in London, even in the world's fastest car, there isn't a place in the whole of London during the daytime that you could get above, say, 50. I mean, if you went down Park Lane and you avoided that one, I think there's only one camera going north on Park Lane, isn't there? So if you're going down the other way, you could probably get to 50 in between the lights, couldn't you? But you could do that in a Mini. You don't need a Lamborghini to do that in, so
pointless.
It is completely pointless.
Well, the best feeling in the world, though, is I had one of those yellow Lambos next to me the other day going home. Excuse me. And, he pulled up to me at one set of lights, and that noise, like you're saying, it sounds ill. It's like, I'm raring to go.
Yeah.
Come on, let me go, let me go. And it's burbling away, and the lights turn green. To the next set, which is 100 yards away, it turns red, and my diesel estate car
you crawl up to it,
and the light turns green just as I get to, beside him, and I just saunter past. And it's the best feeling ever. You just, big old green estate car just goes sliding past.
See, this is an indication of what men are like, Luce. Isn't it pathetic?
Yeah. Well, I just had a caller, Peter, who was telling me that the Lamborghini apparently costs £150,000.
Yeah.
But the clutch burns out every 40,000 miles. And a new clutch...
Let me guess.
Oh, yeah.
£3,000.
No. More.
5.
More.
It's not 10.
6.
£6,000 for a new clutch.
Yeah.
But you see, if you've got a yellow Lamborghini, it's like I was saying, that's not your only car. You've also got the Bentley and a Range Rover
and a Ferrari.
And a BMW and yeah, exactly. You've got
I've got info on the Ferrari too.
You've got 6 garage spaces in your house at the end of your horseshoe gravel driveway.
Well, that's probably true.
I mean, you don't go to Sainsbury's in a Lamborghini, do you?
I don't know.
Or the supermarket of your choice.
Guess how much the latest Ferrari is? I can't remember what he said it was called, because I'm not really into cars.
Well, think.
I have no idea. Ferrari... the
Ferrari da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
Oh, you should have said. That comes in bright red with cream leather seats.
Something ending in O, probably.
Well, guess how much it is.
350,000.
No. More.
450.
No.
650.
Warmer.
£850,000.
Oh, you're slightly over it. 750,000.
Right.
And apparently it has windy windows. It doesn't have electric windows for all that money.
Well, if you think about it, electric windows, what's the point of electric windows? And I know I've said this before, but it's absolutely...
brilliant.
Well, yes, they are, but in your house, you don't have electric windows.
No, but you're not zooming around pulling out tickets to go in a car park, are you? In your house. You're not suddenly having to reach your hand out of the window,
What
are
a
you?
crazy concept. Electric windows. Who needs those?
I need them in my car.
No, you don't, because you're right next to the window. I mean, you couldn't be nearer to it.
No, it makes for a much easier journey. It does. And I think it stops people being so distracted by... a lot of women get really panicky when they've got to wind their window down. I've got to do this.
Got to put your makeup down.
Yeah.
Where are you going to put your coffee?
Sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this way I can just press a little button and down it goes. It's
Right.
lovely. Yeah. Makes me a better driver. That's got to be a good thing.
Nice parking today, by the way.
Why, is it bad?
No, you got my spot.
Did I?
Yeah.
Do you know which is my car?
Well, I can only guess.
The Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Next to my Ferrari.
You can only guess.
But you
is
got
it a girl's car?
You got it in black, so that's the subtle way to go.
No, I didn't.
No, I know what what your car is, because it like the dog that you've got. It looks like you. Well, you are
smiley face.
Yeah, it's it's cute and like family-like and conservative, and it's
like me.
It's like a little girly thing. I bet your husband didn't pick that car, did he?
He did help, actually.
Rubbish.
Yeah.
I bet he hates it.
No, to be honest, he's really not into cars.
Does he
at
ever
all.
drive it?
Not very often.
Right. Well, that's the reason why. He can't stand that car.
He has to drive a much older car.
He doesn't want to say anything, but...
No, he does. No, he likes to drive it, but I like to drive it, so... we have a little contest.
I mean, Alex's car reflects him as well. It's
big and...
It's old and has a capacious boot.
That would be far too big for me to drive. I wouldn't want a big old car. It would make me feel a bit...
Oh, it's great.
What do you need all that room for? It's only you driving
what do you need all that room for?
When I've moved house, I could put, like, a double bed in the back of that.
How often are you doing that?
Don't you own anything? He's like a tramp. His entire possessions are in a handkerchief, tied at the end of a stick. Oh.
We all think about the way...
You can talk to me.
Ilford. Hello, Kieran.
Hello.
Kieran.
Hi. I love your show, by the way.
Thanks, Kieran.
Anyways, I want to talk about the Eurovision Song Contest.
Did you watch that tonight?
Yeah, I did.
How was it for you?
It was hilarious because, like, for example, nation countries like Serbia kept voting for their neighbours. Just kind of voted within blocks, like they voted for Macedonia, and like same with other countries like Sweden. They voted for Finland, and Finland voted for Sweden.
Yeah, that's weird. I mean, that's just it's kind of really childish, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, because like it's like they made some kind of exchange deal. I vote for you if you vote for me.
Yeah. I'll show you yours if you... Oh, no, that's something else, isn't it?
Yeah. But, the UK... Malta gave us 12 points, like the highest one.
Hey, thanks, Malta.
Yeah, that was the only...
I love your teasers.
But, yeah. And, I think some other country gave us 7 points, and that's it.
Right.
We finished, Ireland finished last. We finished just above them.
Oh, yeah. Now, Ireland won it something like 3 times in a row, didn't they? And it practically bankrupted the country.
Yeah.
They had to reopen the peat mines, or however they make their cash down there.
Yeah.
And so maybe they put in a song that was so awfully bad that they were guaranteed not to win it, because they just didn't have the money to put that thing on again. How is Serbia going to do it?
Serbia, they had an alright song. I can understand why they loved it. They sang it in Serbian language.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm like thinking, well, you don't understand the blimmin' lyrics. How are you supposed to even vote for a country where you don't even understand the lyrics?
Well, you know what? I mean, do you ever... I mean, I play songs for a living somewhere else, and I never listen to the lyrics. I can sing along to songs that I know really well.
Yeah.
And I'll hear them as sounds rather than... Because I can sing along, but I still won't be paying attention to what the actual lyrics are saying. Does that sound strange?
No, I think that's true.
Right.
I think lots of us do. I make up the words as I go along.
That's right, yeah. But at the same time, Scooch are quite rubbish.
Yeah, embarrassing.
They are embarrassing. Look like a Mile High Club on what they're wearing. Like, they're wearing, like, air stewardess clothing and...
It looked like it looked like the outtakes of a children's television programme, by which I mean toddlers, you know, sort of, it was just, that represented this country. It should be a law. But anyway, it's over now and we can forget about it.
Yeah, I just think that, like, next year, I think we're going to probably not even win again.
Well, I think we should just withdraw from it, because who cares about this silly thing anymore? I mean, they don't have, that other bastion of 70s light entertainment, the Miss World on TV anymore, do they?
No.
And I think it's probably been picked up by a satellite channel, but not on proper TV. I mean, UK TV Gold or whatever, you know, one of those channels up the dial. They could show it, but it's not taking up vast amounts of quality airtime. I mean, we could have had Graham Norton on.
Oh
no! Let me think about that again. All right, thanks a lot, Kieran.
Okay, thanks.
Cheers, ta-da.
Bye.
What was I going to say?
Oh, by the way, I found out what that Ferrari was. Peter rang back.
Yeah.
It was a Ferrari Enzo.
Oh, well, that's not a new one. That's been out for ages. Oh, you've got to keep up with the times, Liz.
Oh, sorry.
An Enzo. I think that would cost you at least $500,000 these
And
days.
he reckons it would make you feel ill to know. He has a recovery truck, by the way, which is why he knows all about these cars.
Yeah.
And he's on his way now to pick up a Porsche GT3.
Oh, right. Well, that is about $500,000, isn't it?
Is it? Is that a sexy car?
Well, it looks like a Porsche 911, but it's like a racing version of that car. So, in other words, unless you know what you're looking at, you won't be able to tell. It just looks like your bog standard 911.
Because there's a Porsche garage I go past on my way home, and all Porsches to me look pretty much the same.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, and they look the same now as they looked in the 60s. They've changed virtually not at all.
So only if you're a Porsche driver would you really know.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then you...
It's like why men go and buy suits in Savile Row. I mean, normal people like you and me it just looks like a suit to us.
Yeah.
But other Savile Row customers will be able to tell the difference because of a little detail here and a undone cuff button there, and you know.
Do you think all the time?
Well, that's what it's all about, isn't it?
But
hey, dial up Serbia. Google Serbia. I want to know what they do for a living.
Serbia, the group. No, you mean
the country. I want to know.
I thought you meant the group who were performing for Serbia.
No, I want to know what Serbia does for a living. I'm curious because they're going to have to put this mess on next year, and it must cost a fortune because they have to. They'll probably have to build a stadium and cover it with a roof and what? Pointing.
Apparently, I'm pointing.
She always picks the wrong one, man.
Oh.
You just go for the first one, and it's always like a sponsored link or something.
Right.
BBC News, World, Europe, country profile, Serbia. Second one down.
There we go.
I have to do everything myself.
Click the wrong
You're
one.
about to, though.
Wow.
Right. Okay, go down.
Okay.
Facts. Go down, 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 deeper and down. Da-da-da. Stop. Major religion. That's a relief. Capital, Belgrade. Population, 10 million. Keep going. What do they do for a living? Yeah, down, down, down. And we're at the bottom.
That's it.
Oh.
That's the end of the country.
Well.
Well.
No one has any idea what they do. Monetary unit, the dinar.
Life expectancy.
Capital Belgrade. That's where that is it?
There's main exports.
Where? Okay, manufactured goods, food and live animals.
Lovely.
Live animals, Lucy.
I thought we were going to go,
no, there's no money in that. Machinery and transport equipment. That all sounds very suspicious. Import, export, nods as good as a wink to a blind horse. There's a lot of blind horses, by the way. Well, they're going to have to export a lot of live animals. I thought that was illegal. I didn't think you were supposed to be doing that anymore.
I suppose it depends where you're sending
You're supposed to kill them first, because that's the...
Isn't that only what we do?
humane thing to do. Oh, I've been enjoying bacon.
Oh, have you been indulging?
Bacon.
Have you gone any further than a bit of bacon yet?
Well, I've been particularly enjoying bacon lately, because I make my own sandwich to go to the other place.
Right.
And I was buying it at Pret-a-Manger, but, you know, if you buy a sandwich, it becomes, especially if you're doing a show every day, which occasionally I do, you end up losing money on the deal. So,
oh dear.
So I'm making myself now, and tell you what, bacon. I've been missing this all the last 20 years. I've been a vegetarian, you know, and just the thought of it now just makes me wince.
All that food you missed out on.
I know.
So what do you have with your bacon?
Oh, a little bit like a sliced chicken or turkey with crispy bacon.
That's a double meter.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I see. Bit of avo? Bit of avocado in there?
Avocado?
Yeah. That's very good for you, avocado.
No. Some onion. It's called onion marmalade.
Yeah, that's lovely.
One of Prince Charles.
You've got me into the Duchy products.
Charlie's bacon is a super extra double fantastic. You know, you cook bacon, you fry it, and all this white stuff comes off it. Well, that's horrible. Who wants that? I think that's what they squirt water into a pig, and that white. No, this is true. I'm not while it's alive, probably, but there is water in it. They insert a lot of water into the bacon just to make it go further.
I think that's after it's dead.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, and that's what that white stuff is when you cook bacon. That's just extra ick that they put in that you actually don't want. You cook Charlie's bacon, none of that comes off. It's all fatty goodness.
Have you tried his sausages?
Fabulous. No, I'm a bit wary about sausages. I don't think I can go quite that. I might barbecue them. You know, if I actually really nuke them on the barbecue, then
get
it
the
won't
little
seem like
chipolata
sausages.
ones. And they're 86% meat, I think. And they really taste meaty.
Hang on a minute, 86% meat?
Yeah, 86% pork, rather.
Right, well, what's the other 17%?
It actually is the other good stuff. But then, no, that's a huge amount of meat compared to a lot of other sausage products.
Right, a chipolata, how big's that?
We're looking at 10 inches.
But most sausages that you buy, if you buy just bog standard ones from supermarkets, they have about 20% pork in them.
Well, what's the rest of it?
Well, God knows. A lot of... I'd like to think it's a lot of bread and egg, but...
plus pork. I mean, that seems a bit vague to me. I want to know where on the pig it comes from, because I have an idea of exactly where it comes from, and you know the smell of those carts outside of clubs. Like you come out of a club, and the first thing you think is,
I'm hungry.
Yeah, animals in a bun. No thanks. But that's exactly what it smells like, doesn't it? You take an apple corer, turn the animal the other way, and then I'll leave the rest to your imagination.
Thanks. Well, I don't think they're in these sausages. I think they were very good.
Not Charlie's sausages,
no. Not his ones.
No.
But it actually tasted like pieces of pork in them.
Right.
Really good.
So I might stray into sausages. I haven't tried beef yet. None of that red meat for me yet.
Why?
Well, I feel like that's just going too... I'll have to work my way up.
Well, you know how you should do it. What about a lovely bit of carpaccio?
I mean, you don't want to go from Alco Pops straight to heroin. You have to work your way into it.
But if you haven't
for a while
ask
now,
any school child, he'll tell you.
How long have you been working on the meat? It's been a while.
Yeah, it has.
Do you want to rephrase that? It's Tallulah. Hello, Tallulah.
Hello, you.
Hey, you.
Hello, Mr. Rock'n'Roll.
How you going?
Oh, yeah. How are you?
I am super. Thanks for asking.
Well, good that I asked. So at least once in a while I show that I care.
Yeah, you care. I care that you care.
You know what? Can I tell you... yeah, I should have waited there.
Timing, that's what it's all about. What?
Okay. Well, Mr. The other one messed me up recently because he doesn't want to play that game.
Who? What are you talking about?
Clive Boy hates that when you say, you know what? He does everything not to play the rule.
Right.
Yeah.
He's crazy.
He is very crazy because it's fun to do, you know what?
Well, here we are back with working on the meat again. What?
Okay, you know, I've been on, I should have been on the guest list for a band called Girls School.
Girls' School?
Yeah.
Are they still going?
They are going, and they're actually not that bad.
Well, they had that hit with Motorhead, didn't they?
They did.
Yeah, it's fabulous. I play it every now and again.
Do you?
Of course.
What is the name of that song?
I'm glad you asked. Girls' School and Motorhead. I love you, baby, because I miss you so much. Something like that. I miss you, baby, because I love you so much. Something like that.
Okay, you can play it tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll do that right now.
Rock and roll! Okay, so I booked a place on the guest list with MySpace.
Yeah.
And they confirmed, and I went into town, even though I overstepped in the beginning, and so I went into town and went to the counter to the booking to the office.
Yes.
I said, "Can I have my ticket, please?"
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "You are not on the list."
Oh, you're not on the list and you're not coming in.
Oh no! The first time ever. So I was very disappointed. And I thought, oh, well, I just.
Did you buy a ticket anyway? It can't have been sold out. Not Girls' School.
Wait, it's coming. I go to the pub and say I have to drown myself in a pint of beer because I'm very upset.
Yeah, I can imagine, yeah.
Yeah. And then I drink, and them two guys stare at me, and when they finally found out who I am after they dig deep in, one of the guys went to the thingy and bought me a ticket because he insisted I shall not go home.
Really?
Ah, he said, "Are they mad?" And he stirred a real big thing there.
And all because they recognised you from this show.
No, because they came from Nottingham and they recognised similarity to my brother.
Right. Her brother, by the way, rock and roll royalty, Michael Schenker himself. And every single person in this audience is going, who? What?
Well, but then I went in and the manager of Girls' School came and said, "Oh, Paul, can you make an American accent saying, 'Oh, I'm so sorry'?"
Well, we'll just imagine that. "Oh, I'm so sorry. Did you get your money back?" "No."
She wanted to do this, but it was all... Yes,
yeah, too difficult. Yeah, sure it was. How were they?
They were good, but it was empty. That was just a question you asked earlier.
Yeah, right.
It was not very full at all, and it's quite a small place.
Oh, well.
But they were good.
Okay, well, listen, thanks, Tallulah, and better luck next time, all right?
No more.
Cheers. Ta-ra.
Rock and roll.
And Roger Waters is coming this Friday. Maybe I'll get free tickets to that. Aerosmith coming, is it next month, to Hyde Park? Already got my tickets sorted out for that.
Have you?
Yeah, I've got tickets for Percy Gabriel as well. He'll be on the previous night, the Hyde Park calling thing with the Hard Rock. But I'll be here.
Oh no!
Yeah, exactly.
Wasn't there a almost Pink Floyd reunion the other night at the
Sid Barrett's thing? Yeah, that was really weird because they had a concert for Sid Barrett and all the members of Pink Floyd were there. Roger Waters sort of ended the first half with a song in memory of Sid Barrett, and then in the second half, the other three members of Pink Floyd came along and did Arnold Layne, I think. And then at the end, everybody who had performed in the entire concert, Chrissie Hynde and all of these people, and the three members of Pink Floyd, all did Bike, I think. The old track by Pink Floyd, and Lucy's nodding her head, even though she's got no idea what I'm talking about. Except for Roger Waters. He was the only person who didn't show up at the end. Why the hell would he do that? He's so contrary-wise.
Well, that's a shame.
Yeah.
I thought he was...
You're really upset, aren't you?
dying to get on with the rest of them again.
I don't know. I mean, if you had that amount of money, why would you be dying to do anything for the rest of your life? I would staple my feet to the coffee table and never move.
Wouldn't.
I would. I would
You'd get
never
so
move.
bored.
No, I wouldn't. I'm not one of these people who gets bored by doing nothing.
You would. If
I
you
did
just
nothing
were watching BBC News all the time.
I did nothing for 3 years.
Nothing?
Yeah, and to the point that I only thought it was 2 years until I came back here and somebody said, "Hey, you know what? You're saying that you've been away for 2 years. It's actually 3." That's how not bored I am with doing nothing. I could do nothing for a living if only it paid well.
Yeah, that is the bummer, isn't it?
that's the thing that we have to that has to be fixed.
And I find on my days off, I never get everything done. I still have things to do all the time.
Well, it's hard to when you don't do anything. It's hard to actually
But I'm doing
get
things,
anything done.
But, like, everyday living, it just never stops, does it?
It's exhausting.
But as a kid, like, you feel like nothing's ever happening and you're waiting for time all the time. And then as an adult, you're constantly chasing your tail and it never ever stops.
Really? I'm not very experienced with that. I'm constantly...
Don't you?
Constantly going back to bed.
Don't you feel like, oh, I've got to put the washing on, I've got to do some cleaning?
Cleaning.
Well...
I've never felt that. No, strange.
No?
No, I'll get up in the morning, I'll have my my first organic muesli tree-hugging breakfast, a cup of hot water with lemon in it, and a bowl of porridge.
Boring!
And then I'll watch TV and shout at the BBC Breakfast News, and then I'll have my second breakfast, which will be some sort of cooked thing. And then I think it's nap time. There's nothing in my mind better than a nap after breakfast to set you up for a good long sleep in the afternoon.
Sunday night from 10.
Words, more words.
Hey, do you know who Abby Clancy is? Don't say it loose. Who's Abby Clancy, Alex?
I know the name, but I can't...
You got no idea?
Place.
Who is she? Loose.
I don't know.
You don't know who Abby Clancy is?
No,
she's taken up all of page 3 in The Sun, and she's not totally naked. Or even naked from the waist... Well, she is naked from the waist up, but we can't see her super soaraway boobs.
And I'm always admiring the women on page 3.
Well, she's not just a page 3... She's not a page 3 bird.
Oh, right.
Oh, she's much more substantial than that.
Oh, I see.
Because there's a story as well. It's not just like that little...
Not just like Claire 23.
Yeah.
Loves to go out partying and drink gin and tonic.
Well, now they've, in order to make it seem less overtly sexual or something like that, they put a little a box by the bird, which says her commenting on a news story.
Oh yes.
Oh, I think Gordon Brown's going to be really great for the country. That's what I think.
She obviously wrote that or said it.
Exactly. No, Abby Clancy is going out with Peter Crouch.
Oh, I do know who, yeah.
This is why she's famous.
Yeah.
I don't get this whole WAG thing. I mean, this country has gone insane.
Yep.
I mean, it's actually, this is a sign of madness, because these are the people that we are now worshipping, and I just don't.
For going out with a footballer?
Yeah, for having sex with someone who's famous. You're famous. That mystifies me.
Yeah, it's very weird.
Gorgeous Abby Clancy has revealed she's dreaming of her footy fella scoring in the European Cup final. The stunning blonde, 20, says she wept for joy when striker Peter Crouch's Liverpool team beat rivals Chelsea to reach the Champions League decider against AC Milan in Greece on May 23rd. Yeah, she was crying so much she could hardly shop. And she told The Sun, "I can't wait for Peter to score in Athens." Hey, is that going to be on Sky, or is that going to be on proper TV? Because I just cancelled my sports on Sky.
Oh dear.
I just
Why?
Is it? Well, because I'm spending too much money on it.
Okay.
Well, I decided to change my broadband supplier.
Oh, no!
Exactly, because I just changed my mobile phone provider, and that went smoothly.
Oh, good.
Yeah, they switched me off, and the new company switched me right on, and there was nary a hitch.
Well,
which I was surprised at.
Have you checked your bills recently?
No, I haven't had my first bill yet. And so I thought, right, okay, well that went well. I'm going to take the plunge now and change my broadband supplier, which would mean getting my telephone line back to BT.
Right.
Changing my broadband thing, and possibly changing my TV supplier. Like the big move.
Like
just sounds like the biggest nightmare that you could possibly go through without actually going to war.
Oh dear.
And so I call up my, not that this has anything to do with Abby Clancy, but I'm going to say it anyway. Here's a tip, ladies and gentlemen. If you learn nothing else from this programme, then get yourself a pencil and a piece of paper and write this down. And so I call up my broadband supplier and say, I'd like my pack code or back code or my sayonara code, see you goodbye. And they said, oh, I'll put you through to our customer dissatisfaction department or something of that order. And they said, yeah, can I ask you why you're considering moving? Very happy and chirpy, and I said, yeah, it's just a price thing. I said, oh, well, what if I could offer you a deal? And I had made my mind up at this point, because I've been umming and ahhing about whether I should do it, because I know that it's going to be a nightmare, and I know that I'll be on the phone to a helpline listening to Greensleeves for 3 hours.
But once you've decided...
Yeah, before somebody just hangs up on me, and you have to go through the whole process again. That's the worst thing. It's not just the waiting to be spoken to, it's the waiting, and the waiting, and the waiting, and then they hang up on you. That just makes you want to kill somebody.
I know. Oh, it's happened so often as well.
Yeah.
I don't understand how they can have such clumsy fingers.
Well, it's not clumsy, they're just getting rid of you, because if they get rid of you, they've dealt with your call. Because on a big screen in front of them are the calls that are racking up. You've got 100 calls waiting for you to... And so if they just get rid of a few, that's fewer calls for them to...
Yeah, but it's just when you feel like you've got to the front.
Oh, yeah, I know.
And what's worse is you can almost hear their voices just as they hang you up. They do that split-second thing where you go, and you go...
Or you'll speak to somebody and it'll be naturally through to the wrong department, because you've only pressed 100 different buttons to get you through to exactly the right person.
Yeah.
And you know, as you're pressing, press 1 for accounts, and you're pressing all of these buttons, and you know that it doesn't matter what buttons you press, you're just going to get through to the same person anyway.
Yeah.
Right? It's just a delaying tactic.
Because they still say, how can I help you, sir? So you might as well have not
And you've
bothered
tapped your
telling them.
account number in, and then they ask you for your account number. So it's completely pointless. It's just wasting
really
your time. Very annoying,
So why don't they say, because if you've already gone through, say, 3 menus, and you've said, okay, so I'm calling up, this is my... I have to tap in my account number.
And your credit card number, which is 86 numbers long, and you get to the last number, and you dial your number, and it says, I'm sorry, we don't recognise this number. Click.
Go back to star 0.
Press star, anyway. So I knew that it was going to be a nightmare, and so I'd made my mind up. I'd steeled myself. I don't care if I don't have any contact with the outside world for 2 months while they reconnect my broadband. And so I was convinced I was going to leave. And she said, well, what if I do you a deal? And I'm like, very suspiciously, I'm like, well... What kind of a deal? She said, half price. Half price. All you have to do is ask. A misfiring.
Yeah.
My machine playing up. Sorry about
Friendly fire.
Yeah. Spiders in his ear, Lucy.
Oh, that is absolutely grim.
That is beyond horrible.
But how would you not notice?
Well, he just heard clicking and popping sounds.
All of a sudden?
He was 9 years old. He'd complained to his mum about Rice Krispie sounds in his ear. She took him to the doctor, who discovered the problem was caused by spiders nestling in his ear canal. They were flushed out with water. He said they were walking on my eardrum, and I kept hearing this popping sound like Rice Krispies.
Oh my God.
I didn't think that such a thing was possible, because, you know, you think about it, don't you? Because when you put your head on the pillow, I always check for spiders.
Do you?
Don't
Every
you?
night?
Always. Always lift the pillow up and check for spiders. Huh?
I can't.
Is that crazy?
Yeah, but when I get in, it's so late. The other half's already snoring, so...
Snoring?
Oh, every night. Yeah.
Really? Well, that's horrible. Get him an operation.
He does one of those funny snores sometimes as well, where he holds his breath for ages, and so he goes... And I have to sometimes check and go, is he breathing? And then suddenly... and it comes out.
Oh,
it's a
really?
relief. Yeah, it's nice. Anyway, sorry, there's nothing to do with spiders. But anyway, I can't check then for spiders, because he's there.
Well, you'll think about this story tonight.
We're turning the lights on.
The doctor gave him the spiders to keep as a souvenir.
Oh, thanks. Just what you'd want.
He said it was really interesting. This 9-year-old kid, is fascinated. He says, spiders living in my ear. How many other kids can say that? He was thrilled.
Showing off at school, he was. Look at me.
The spiders probably got into his ear as he weeded the garden.
What? And he didn't feel that?
Well, they're tiny, aren't they?
How can a spider get in your ear?
He must have huge ears.
Oh.
Well, he must.
Well, there's a picture of him.
Oh, God. That would make me vomit, I think, if somebody pulled a spider out of my ear. Oh.
Anyway, back to Abby Clancy. You remember who she is, don't you?
No! That very famous wag.
Yeah.
And a very tall boyfriend. Are they married?
I don't know. This story is bound to tell us. Abby, who shows off her fine form in our dazzling new pictures, has been dating Crouchy, 25, for the past year. Only dating.
Oh, okay.
Not having sex, obviously, because, you know, they're not married.
I do hope
Plus, that would be revolting.
And, you know, she wouldn't want to cash in on his money, surely.
Well, that's not why she's interested in him.
And of course not. She's earning a decent crust.
Scouser Abby has been filming in America for her new living TV show.
What?
The world has gone insane.
Patrick Moore will be tuning into that one.
In this show, fiery 70s supermodel Janice Dickinson... Who?
Who?
Oh, she's that really weird... Look, what am I saying? They're all weird looking, aren't they?
Who models?
Model. Yeah.
They are weird looking.
But she's had work done. So she looks...
Even better.
Yeah. Fabulous.
Is going to turn her into a star. This is the nature of this program.
Right. What?
I swear.
So she's got her own show where she's made into...
a star.
By doing what?
Curvy Abby, whose programme begins on Monday, says, "Everything is amazing with me and Peter." Well, thank God for that, eh? Because I was worried. I was hoping that things were going to be amazing, weren't you?
Not just good.
Yeah, amazing. But she revealed that she would not move to Hollywood despite being offered more work there, so she could stay at home with her man. And of course, if a rich and famous man who looked normal, no offence, came along, she would just let him pass on by.
Of course, because she wants to cook dinner for
really
Peter.
loves Peter Crouch. I mean, he must have been, I mean, you know, I don't want to be horrible to the guy, but he must have been, like, the bottom, the very bottom of the pecking order of Premiership football stars. Peter Crouch. It's like I said the other week, it would be like having sex with a box of pipe cleaners. What a horrible thought.
He is very beanpoley, isn't
Well,
he?
it just looks...
It's just a bit... He looks a bit awkward, a bit
He
potty.
looks like he should be in the Addams Family.
That's a bit cruel.
Like Lurch.
He's not,
Yes, he
unattractive facially, though, overly, is he?
Yeah, but who can see it? You need binoculars to see that high.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a bit tall
He's
for the
10
average
feet
woman.
tall.
10 feet. How tall is it? Is he 7
He
foot?
virtually needs guy ropes just to stand up straight.
Oh dear. So what's she going to do in her show then? She must be doing something, surely. Not just appearing on a show to be a
I would
star.
imagine she's going to be made over and she'll... oh, God knows. I mean, it's on Living TV, so that's one of your channels, right?
No, it isn't. Only the foodie ones.
The Beauty also told how Hollywood experts gave her a makeover for her television show, but loved her famous boobs just the way they were.
Oh.
Famous?
Why are her boobs famous?
I've got no idea. She's not famous, but her boobs are.
Ah, that's her talent. There you go.
You've hit it on the head there, yeah. She said, "When I went to Hollywood, they bleached my hair until it was..." I'll do the voice.
Yeah, do the voice.
When I went... but she's a Scouser, so she probably doesn't speak like that, does she? But I'll just do
That's
it,
okay,
do
I
it
like
like
it
that
that
anyway.
way.
When I went to Hollywood, they bleached my hair until it was practically white, but they didn't put pressure on me to lose weight. But to lose weight from where? She's the thinnest... next to Peter Crouch, she's the thinnest person I've ever seen in my life. They didn't tell me to do anything to my boobs. Well... well, I don't... are they too big? They're too small? I've got no idea, because she's covering them up. Too small, I would guess.
Well, if all these women who are very thin tend to have smaller boobs unless they've had fake ones popped in.
Yeah, like...
Because you naturally lose the weight there.
Like Posh Spice. She must have had fake ones in there, because she does look like a twiglet with knockers.
With knockers. Isn't knockers a great word?
She does. She's got this giant comedy breast bursting out of this frame that looks
They're like very round tennis balls, aren't they?
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
But that really kind of round...
Made of concrete, I think.
Yes. They don't look soft and squishy, that's for sure.
She doesn't wear a bra, she has scaffolding.
She probably doesn't need to. It's just held up anyway, all times. Oh dear. Anyway, how's Nancy getting along? Was it Nancy?
Who's Nancy?
Abby.
Abby.
Oh, Abby.
Abby Flancy.
Abby Clancy.
Clancy.
Beauty and the Best starts Monday on Living TV at 9 p.m. So there's
So she's actually ridiculing Crouch?
Huh?
Beauty and the Best? What did you say?
Beauty and the Best.
Oh, okay. I thought she was kind of mocking him for...
Well, no, presumably this is she's the beauty and she's becoming the best. I've got no idea.
Or is
these are
Peter
million-pound
Crouch the
ideas
best?
these people are coming up with on TV. I mean, TV's got all the money in the world, and you come up with an idea, and you might as well just spark up a cigar for the rest of your life. All you have to do is, I'll get some bird with boobs, and we won't change them at all because they're famous, and we'll make her. Well, oh God, I just give up. We've become insane in this country. We've become a silly people.
Well, I'd love to. Wouldn't you love to see these wags' relationships though behind closed doors? Have a little window into their life to see. I just like to see how the conversation evolves as the evening goes on. Hello, how was your day? Well, I was busy kicking a football.
Do you want some Chardonnay?
Yeah, just I mean, there can't be any. I mean, what substance can there be there? If you're say her. Well, I was, just practising on my show today. What, your show about me? Yeah, brilliant. It's just kind of, I don't know, nothing.
But that we're worshipping at the feet of women who haven't done anything other than slept with a footballer. I just don't get it. And there seems to be a whole tribe of women who only sleep with footballers. Like Teddy Sheringham just dumped that woman who was on...
Danielle.
Yeah, whatever her name is. She has now been out with a string of other footballers, like...
Well, I suppose you get in the circle, don't you?
Well, where do you get them from?
Well, I suppose if that's all you want to do in life, endeavour to go out with a rich man who plays football, and maybe you just find a way of... I don't know.
No, I think that the thing is... Yeah, but rich men are... there's usually two types. There's two types. Show business, which is what football is a part of, and business. Now, to make a lot of money in business, you have to be smart, and so you're going to choose a woman who's relatively smart and isn't going to embarrass you in the papers by whipping her famous boobs out like it is right there. And so these kind of women won't be able to get a businessman. So
exactly.
So to get a guy with a lot of money. It's almost like a twofer, because a footballer is not only he's got a lot of money, but he's also really stupid. Well,
they're not all, but if you were a stupid footballer, then you're not going to want someone who's really, really bright.
All the British footballers seem to be really stupid, and the few aren't are labelled, they have pot-bellied football fans screaming "Pufter" at them from the terraces, like that Guardian reading. A guy who used to play for Chelsea. What's his name? Why am I asking you two? Got no idea. Anyway, that guy. Just because he's read The Guardian. They go.
Because he can read a broadsheet.
Anyone who can speak in words of more than one syllable. Yeah. And so, and British football, I don't know, there seems to be, like, rugby players look like morons, because they've got the cauliflower ear and the nose pressed into their face, but when they speak, it's all like that, because they're all public school types, right?
Yeah.
Footballers, on the other hand, they haven't got an O-level to squeeze between them. Foreign footballers, on the other hand, speak English better than our own players do.
You're
That's
right.
properly weird. And I think it's because in other countries, football isn't the preserve of the stupid, because they actually value education alongside your footballing training.
Yeah.
Whereas in this country, it's just, forget
they're
it,
seen
because
as
who cares?
much bigger figures, aren't they, sort of footballers abroad, not just for the football, but for sort of influencing children a lot more and being much more of a figurehead.
And in this country, any kind of educational attainment is ridiculed, which is why we're producing armies of kids, like this report said this week, armies of children who are leaving school, who are completely unemployable because they don't know anything. And one of the reasons is, well, schools are failing them, and the other reason is it's deeply uncalled to pay attention in school. And so they leave knowing nothing, thinking that either they're going to be gangsters, and they'll earn their money that way, like in a rap video, or they're going to be footballers, and those are the only two options available to them. And as a nation, we're screwed. Yeah. Have you checked this caller out?
No.
Shall I take it anyway?
If you'd like to risk it.
Hey, Keith.
Hello.
Keith.
How are you doing?
I'm all right, thanks.
Can we change the subject of footballers?
Yeah, okay. What do you want to talk about?
Because I know Crouch is a long, tall player, but he should stand up as a goalpost. No, seriously now. No, what can we talk about? I've been waiting for you to change the subject so I can have a laugh.
All right. Well, I'll let you know when that happens. All right. He was excellent. We want all these callers checked from now on.
Questions I've got. It's happening. It's wild. And it's now.
Right, everybody say hooray on my cue, okay? Paris Hilton is going to jail. Hooray! This is amongst the best news I've read this week. This is so great. I mean, just anything to wipe that smug, supercilious smile off that awful woman's face, right?
It's semi-pouty like Posh as well, isn't it? Have you noticed?
It's pouty, but superior.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I hate her.
You even almost snarled in your face
I
then
did,
when you said it.
I think she almost dropped a chihuahua when they announced it.
One of her chihuahuas.
Yeah, she's got one of those silly yappy dogs like you, Luce.
My dog is not as stupid as hers.
Yeah, it's one of those silly dogs that you carry around in your handbag, isn't it?
I'll tell Nick what it did at the vets.
Oh, God, here we go.
Oh, it was really embarrassing this week. He didn't do that, no. He cocked his leg up against my leg in the vets.
He peed on you?
Yes.
No.
And in front of everybody, it was really embarrassing.
Well, I think it's telling you something. Why did you take it to the vet?
Well, because he's got a little mite. So he was scratching all the time, and I didn't want him scratching, and I wanted to check he didn't have fleas. So...
Can't you just cover him in powder?
No, it doesn't work like that. He already has his flea treatment. He has a little ointment that goes on the back of his neck.
Ointment?
Yeah, and that seeps in, so that works well. But then he was scratching, so we knew that was wrong, so he'd managed to give himself a little bald patch under his leg.
Oh.
Yeah, wasn't very nice, so I took him there, and he was so excited that first he did a poo outside when... and all the frontage is glass.
Yeah, I know what that's like.
And everyone was watching me, and they all had, like, really well-behaved pets. That were just sitting
can I
on
ask
their
you a
lap.
question about that?
Yeah.
Did you take care of that?
Of course.
Right.
I
Was
carry
that a
bags.
no?
No, I did, absolutely.
Okay.
I'd never leave that.
Oh, of course not. No, not you.
I wouldn't, though. I've even got biodegradable bags. Yeah, they're good.
You are
those
such
bags.
a hippie.
The only thing that worries me with these bags is that I've tested them with a bit of water, and they start to...
You've tested them?
Yeah.
For what? Leakage?
No, to see what happens to them once they interact with water, and they start to go a little bit foamy, almost. So what you don't want to do is pick up a poop and then have to walk for too long with it before finding a bin.
Don't pop it in your handbag and forget about
No,
it.
exactly.
You'd be rooting around for your keys, and what a terrible surprise that would be.
Yeah, really bad. But at least it proves they work, so that's good.
Right.
Unlike normal plastic bags, which take,
1,000
20
years.
years or whatever, yeah. So that was good. But anyway, the dog was slightly embarrassing, and so the chap across the way looked at me as if to say, "What are you doing with that dog?"
Yeah.
And Oscar just looked at me like, "Yeah, and?" I was like, "Oh no." I said, "What are you doing?"
So the only thing it didn't do was vomit, is that right?
Yeah, pretty much barked the whole time as well.
And this is a dog that goes to a strict obedience school.
He does.
Right.
Well,
But it's not working on you or the dog.
Well, I did then take him again on Thursday, and he was much better behaved, and we've been taught that you can even make your dog bark at the right time. If you start doing this, you can make your dog, it's like...
Doing this? That doesn't work on a radio.
If you close your hands together when the dog's barking...
Like that. Like clapping hands?
Yeah, sort of like clapping hands, but you don't need to make much of a noise.
Clap it over its little snout.
And then you can teach a dog to bark on command.
Right.
Yeah, it's clever, isn't it?
Like bark.
Yeah. See, you can
Why would you want to do that?
Because if you want to teach your dog to be a good guard dog, it's important to do it at the right time.
A good guard dog? Your dog's about 3 inches long. it could get mistaken for a mouse.
You can't even guard a mouse.
He's 5 kilos now. He's getting enormous.
Yeah, how is that? Have you seen that rodent lately?
The mouse?
Yeah.
We've got...
I feel a song coming on.
We've got 2.
You got 2?
That's so awful.
You saw it.
Where? There on the stair. Where on the stair? Right there. A little mouse with clogs on. Well, I declare, going clippity-clop on the stair.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, 2 now?
2 now.
Well, there's probably hundreds.
Oh, don't.
I mean, how do you know it's the same 2 that you're seeing over and over again?
Oh, I don't. The thing is, they're not even frightened anymore. I saw one in the kitchen, and so I went running in to try and scare it, and he just stood there and cleaned his whiskers. And then just popped off when he felt like it. And I thought, oh my God, what am I going to do with this? So I cleaned out all the cupboards.
Show me how you ran.
No. Like a girl.
Were you flapping your arms?
I tried to look really, you know, as I ran in.
Yeah.
And the mouse.
No success there.
And then I went, go on, Oscar, get the mouse.
Oh, yeah, that'll work.
And he just licked me, and I was like, oh, that's not working. So I think, obviously, Oscar's friends with the mice.
You need a cat.
I know. Well, actually, the neighbour across the way, Sheila, has said that I can borrow the cat if I want to.
We love kitty cats.
We eat kitty cats. We eat kitty cats. We eat kitty cats. They're really great to chew.
That song, the whole of the song is really awful. There's like the sound effects of people chewing kitty cats, and it just goes through a whole list of different types of cats that they like to eat.
Oh, how horrible.
Awful.
Where did you find that?
It's an American radio thing called Dr. Demento.
Sounds
which I think is
weird.
it's a kids thing in America. Of course, kids love all that stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, what were we talking about? Paris Hilton. How did we get to your dog?
Her little chihuahuas.
Taking a pee on you in the vet.
I don't
Oh,
know.
okay. Paris Hilton. Celebrity Air. What time are we at now? 28:45. I'm not going to fit this in now, am I? Shall I take a mobile?
Yeah.
Have you checked this one out?
No.
Oh, God. Hello, you're on the air.
Hey there. Wow, who can believe it? Serbia's version of Jimmy Cranky won Eurovision.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
Sing it for us.
I like Eurovision. It is very nice. It is very nice. I don't know.
Well, that doesn't sound entirely unconvincing, really, does it?
My Serbian's not very good.
Nul point from us, mate.
No, I went around a friend's house and watched it, the whole thing, and
You watched the whole thing? Well, as some sort of weird punishment?
yeah, well, back in old days, I remember when it used to last for like 5 hours, but tonight it was only like an hour and a half. And that was long enough, really, but...
It did not last just an hour and a half, did it?
It did.
It must have been
Well,
longer than
maybe 2 hours, including all the voting. I mean, there was only, like, sort of 20 countries.
And was Lord Sir Terry amusing?
Sorry?
Was Lord... No, yeah, Lordy, yeah. Yeah, we'll call him Lordy from now on. Was he amusing?
The Finnish group...
the announcer. Can't remember.
No.
He had the sound turned down. Best thing for it, yeah.
Oh, that bloke who's on BBC Two in the morning. What an annoying Irish fella. Ugh.
Oh, him.
I wish I could turn him down.
Yeah, well, that's what I was talking about. The annoying Irish fella. That guy, yeah.
Yeah. Who told him he was funny?
Well, 7 million people, apparently, who've obviously lost the button on their radio, yeah.
White sliced bread again.
Exactly. Bland. There's a fortune in it. All right, well, listen, thanks for the bad news, mate.
No, but quickly...
Go on, then.
Let me just say, 'cause I am a huge fan of yours, and I've made an animation in honour of you, and it's on YouTube, so if you type in Nick Abbott into YouTube, you can... see a fantastic animation to a YouTube caller, to a LBC caller, and it's hilarious.
So, right, so you you type in Nick Abbott with 2 B's and 1 T into YouTube, and you'll see the an animation of me talking to a caller.
You'll see the visualization of of a caller, yeah.
And my latest sex video too.
Are you trying to tell me that this is your act?
Yes. That's exactly what I'm trying to... We just dialed that thing up on YouTube, and it looks like a proper professional job. It looks like an animation that wouldn't look out of place on Monty Python itself. We can't hear it because the sound is turned down on all of our things, but it looks like he's spent a tremendous amount of time doing it. We haven't dealt with Paris Hilton yet. I've tried and tried and tried. Get off the phone, Luz. Very important. Yes. Celebrity heiress Paris Hilton is backing an online petition seeking a pardon of her 45-day prison sentence because, guess what? In her own words, she enlivens mundane lives. Oh, this woman, she needs to get the chair. Never mind about 45 days in prison. The taser, at the very least. She needs to be beaten to the floor. Am I right?
This might be a little harsh.
She enlivens mundane lives. I mean, just...
That's like you and me.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank God for Paris.
You just want to throttle her. That's exactly the sort of thing you'd expect her to say as well. With that superior, pouty, supercilious kind of, oh, God, I hate her. The petition to... It's not awful to hate someone for that, is it?
Well, she is being slightly smug, I guess, which kind of will always rile people, won't it?
The petition to the Californian Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger also claims she was being used as a scapegoat to highlight the dangers of drink driving.
Affirmative.
Well, that's not Arnold Schwarzenegger. Oh, hang on a minute. I'll find him.
Correct.
There you go.
There we are.
Affirmative, correct. It's all the same to me. She was sentenced after being found guilty of violating her probation for a drink driving conviction. She must start her jail term by the 5th of June or risk a doubling of her sentence. She's not going to do a single day in jail,
Do you not
is she?
think?
No.
I think, is it The Sun who are doing a countdown to her days before she goes down?
She's not going to jail. Rich people don't go to jail in America. I mean, look at that guy who killed his wife.
Yeah, but then Boy George did his bit.
Boy George didn't kill his wife.
I know he didn't kill his wife. Of course he didn't. But when he did his little bit of time for, well, he went to street cleaning.
He didn't go to jail. He cleaned streets.
Yeah. Yeah, but he still, you know.
I rest my face. So did Naomi Campbell. There's another one that should be in jail.
Didn't she have stilettos with her at the time?
She came to work in a different outfit every day and was photographed in the press in a different outfit every day. Therefore, she was doing modelling on her way to work and earning a vast fortune from doing that.
Good grief.
Brilliant. In a message on a MySpace website, Mrs. Hilton apparently endorsed an online appeal saying, my friend has started this petition. Please help him... please help and sign it. I love you all. The petition paints Ms. Hilton as a role model who provides hope for young people all over the US and the world. She provides beauty and excitement to our otherwise mundane lives. You just want to strangle her, don't you?
Yeah.
She provides hope for people all over the world. In other words, all you have to do is get born to a millionaire set of parents, and then that's all there is to it.
But also, how insulting.
It's as simple as that.
For her to think that just by looking at her, our lives will feel fulfilled. I mean, what an absolute joke.
It also draws parallels between other high-profile US figures who were forgiven for their misdeeds. This is a quote. If the late former President Gerald Ford could find it in his heart to pardon the former President Richard Nixon after his mistakes, we undeniably support Paris Hilton being pardoned for her honest mistake.
What? Dear, dear.
It's just incredible. Anyway, she's got a really hotshot lawyer now. It's like the dean of motoring offences, and he's going to get her off. There's just no doubt about it.
You really think so?
She's not going to do any time in jail. I mean,
she could do at least a couple of... I thought she was, isn't she doing karate at the moment to train?
Yeah, terrified Paris Hilton is taking self-defence classes so she can protect herself from violent inmates in jail. This is a woman who makes Peter Crouch look muscular. I mean, she's... there's no fat or muscle on this woman at all. How she perambulates is a mystery to everyone.
And she's not just going to be mixing around with people in jail anyway, would she? I mean, wouldn't she be in her own little area?
Into a little bubble. The blonde hotel heiress is trying to... I mean, doesn't it make you just never want to check into a Hilton again, like, ever? She's trying to toughen up after receiving chilling death threats from lags. Paris, 26, is working on karate techniques with a personal trainer before starting her 45... She is going down! Yeah. She's got, a couple of weeks to learn karate before she goes into prison. And that this would get in the press. I mean, that's just going to make the inmates want her even more, isn't it? Oh, you know karate.
Brilliant.
I mean, that's just... They're going to be rubbing their hands together. Paris has been really shaken by these threats. People are saying that there's some tough girls inside who want to target her. Inmates at the women-only Century Regional Detention Facility in California include violent robbers, hookers, junkies, and a mob of butch lesbians who control by force. I wish that she could take cameras in... I mean, just... there's a Big Brother scenario that you'd want to watch 24 hours a day, just in case you've missed anything.
Just to see her look a little bit nervous for a little bit would be good.
Yeah, just to wipe that smug smile off her face.
Yeah.
God, I hate her. Like, I really do. Like, you know, and all of these other wags you can just take and leave. I don't really care because it's all very silly. But her, particularly, the chair. I mean, there's just... it's the
well, I
only
suppose it's because she's rubbing our faces in it.
Yeah,
isn't
exactly.
She? That's the trouble.
Yes. I mean, at least Colon does a lot of work for charity.
She's like a human wasp.
And she wasn't born mega rich.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? She's going to come out of this even more famous and rich than when she went in. Even if she does her full time in jail, and I sincerely hope that she does, but she won't. A couple of hours, I think she'll go in and come out on the same day. Or, at most, she'll be in there for 2 weeks in her own private... I mean, she'll
ordered... probably have something built for her.
She's, David Letterman, he said that she'd ordered ahead and has requested a junior suite. But she'll come out and she'll write a book, for a start, which will be a worldwide bestseller. And then she'll release a rap song about it, because there's nothing like jail time to increase your street cred in the rap world.
Yeah, then she'll be really hard, won't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Oh, dear.
Oh. Anyway, let's take a couple of these. Collindale. Hello, Sean.
Hello, mate. How you doing?
All right, thanks.
Yeah, you busy night?
Oh, you know, just hanging out, doing a show.
You know what? I'm so happy this week, because I had a great week. And all weeks have been pretty bad, because I've been looking after 2 kids, and they're both under 5.
Yeah.
And this week, I've gone out to work, and I've earned a few pennies, you know. What I want to talk about was how hard it is to work in society now in London.
How hard it is to work?
Yeah.
Well, what do you do?
Well, basically, I'm a chippy, like a carpenter.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a hard old job, because you keep cutting your hands up every day.
Yeah.
But at the same time.
We've got to get your hands rough like leather.
Yeah, definitely, mate.
Or just wear gloves.
No, but you can't wear gloves because you can't hold material properly, you know?
Yep, you have to, it's like it's organic and you have to hold it in the palm of your hand. Oh, he's gone. He was squeezing it too hard. Red Hill, Igor.
Hey, man.
Igor.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm alright.
Yeah. I don't watch that much telly, but I flicked it on today and it's like, Any Dream Will Do.
Oh, that silly thing they got on the BBC,
Yeah, it's like, there's people coming like, you know, wake up, Maggie, I think it's good. You know, kind of opera, you know.
They were doing Maggie.
Maggie May.
Right.
And then you got like Andrew Lloyd Webber, you know. Oh, it's too rock and roll. You know.
Andrew Lloyd Webber, is there something wrong with him? He looks like a waxwork model that's been dipped in slime. There's just something that looks really...
faces
yeah.
of Tom Cruise film, you know, put it on Inside Out.
Yeah. There's something wrong with him. I mean, you'd think all of that money, you'd look a bit better than that.
Yeah. Or even get, you know, more better opinions on music, you know.
Well, nobody's accused him of having good taste in music. I mean, have you seen those shows?
Oh, dear. I never got to see it, actually. Anyway, we won tonight, Serbia.
We?
Well, we used to be part of them.
We used to be part of Serbia?
Serbia and Montenegro. Does that mean next time they hold it in Belgrade?
Very possibly, yes.
So that means they have to mend all those holes that Blair and Clinton put in the buildings?
Yeah, they'll think about it, you know, they could just use it as ventilation.
They said they send the money over, you know, but they're waiting for, you know, class detention, you know, or you have to hand in, you know, Karadzic or whatever.
Right, okay, I think you're thinking too much about this. You just let it drift from your mind.
Listen, Nick, you need some more jingles.
Jingles?
Yeah, you're stuck with this one Liberace thing.
I like that. No, I like that.
But, you know, just have a couple.
Well, jingles like what?
I don't know. Well, I was thinking, a good one for you would be like, you know this nut rocker?
Yeah.
They did another one called the Bumble Boogie. It's like, ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding. It's the same kind of thing you got.
Which I think is called Bumble Boogie. I think that's exactly what I use. Bumble Boogie by Liberace.
Yeah, but you got this thing over the top. You know, it's got this kind of B thing going.
It's like listening to music radio with this guy, isn't it? Okay, well, I'll certainly think about that, Igor, for at least the next 10 seconds. Thanks a lot, mate. Here is Kensington. Stephen.
Hello, Nicky.
How are you?
Absolutely. Well, let me say semi-excellent, because the evening was excellent in the beginning to start with. But if you want to hear a bit of a chapter from the story of my life, I met somebody who was a bit depressed, and I started to boost their morale a little bit. I never took anybody ever with me. Even I'm 38 years of age, to a dinner before, never, ever. So she came with me, and I'm actually set in a Hilton in London, that's why I'm phoning.
You're at the Hilton in Park Lane?
Yeah, no, the other one, in Edgware Road.
Oh, right, okay, the big building on Edgware Road, yeah.
Right. We took her for a dinner inside. I never met this person because...
well, it's a blind date?
No, well, it's not. No, it's more than that. I'm into research, I'm into history and all sorts of things, and... this person was interesting, plus she was a bit sad and somehow eccentric. Anyway, she decided she'd give me a verbal good knows what. Spilt the wine, whether she was deliberate or not, I don't know. Then she decided to hide to see if I can see her around or not. Obviously, I couldn't hear where she was breathing, I knew she was there, and then she decided to go. So I came to the reception, listened to the radio, and listened to you, and he said I wouldn't check in a Hilton. So I was going to say, well, I'm in the Hilton at the present moment. Still, could you please ask Miss Paris Hilton if I can check in her cell with her, so I can sort of imagine what she looks like, maybe, or imagine her sort of explicities, if I may.
All right, I'll definitely sort that out for you, mate. You stay there. Don't move a muscle. Here's Ryslip. Hello, Nick.
Hello, mate. How you doing?
I'm all right.
Good. What I was thinking of is Paris Hilton. She's been done for drink driving, and the thing that always bugs me is whenever anybody is done for drink driving, they always get banned from driving. Why don't they get banned from drinking?
Hey, good thought.
You know, the problem out of drinking and driving is not the driving.
It's the drinking part. Yeah.
Yeah.
How come nobody's thought of that before?
I don't know.
And it took a guy called Nick to come up with that. Can you believe it?
Yeah, probably.
All right, thanks a lot, Nick.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate. Ta-ta. Boy, we really are sorting out the world on this programme, aren't we? Unfortunately, we're doing it at this time of night, and when, you know, everybody that could do anything about it is already asleep. So, what's that? Where is it?
That cheeky piece of paper.
Yeah, where is it?
Has it gone wandering?
Well, I've got so much paper in here, that's the problem. You fill, I'll find it.
It's not a bad idea, the drink driving idea.
Oh, come
But
on, you can do better than that.
But we were just saying you couldn't really enforce it, could
really?
you? You couldn't...
Yes, you can.
No, but how could you stop someone drinking?
Well, you could tag them, and every 10 minutes or so, they could be. It could be a tag that would be on their arm, and it could have some sort of needle in it, which could stab them in the arm and test the test the quantity of alcohol in their blood.
Isn't there something that has a breathalyzer connected to the car and it won't start?
Yeah, that's right.
Unless you
Yes,
see,
that's
that would
correct.
be good,
Yes,
wouldn't
well,
it?
there you are. You see.
So we should do that.
Correct. Right, this weekend we're giving you the chance to win a complete Nintendo Games Entertainment Package in our How Low reverse auction competition. I like these ones because, like, if it's an ordinary auction, then you pay, you know, more or less what it costs, or even more sometimes. Like, you'll get carried away and you're putting your hand up and, like...
Keep going, because
yeah.
I really want it.
That's right. So you spend £5,000 on something that would ordinarily only cost £100. But with these, you could walk away with, well, we've got here a Nintendo YI machine and a DS Lite. I don't even know what that is. I'll tell you what it is in just a minute. But you could walk away with them for literally 1p, if you're the only person that says 1p. So it's the least amount that is a unique bid, that no one else bids, is what's going to win this. So it could be 1p, it could be 6p. I would vote 6p, because 6 is often the number that comes up. Strangely enough, people avoid it. Except for now, of course, everyone will vote 6p, so don't vote 6, vote 7 or 5 or 32.
Or maybe 4.
Yeah, I've got no idea. So it's a Nintendo YI game, it's, well, Wii, as it's supposed to be. Wii, like the French say. And a handheld Nintendo DS Lite is the prize package. The Nintendo YI thing is a wireless controller, fantastic lineup of games, and access to 25 years of classic Nintendo gaming. It's the thing where you wave the thing around in the air and it magically appears to move the cursor on the screen.
You can look like you're doing sporting activities.
Yeah, well, it's made gaming accessible to people like me who aren't game nerds, because I wouldn't know where to start with a game. I did have one once. It was one of these sort of shoot 'em up things where you walk through. It's like you walk through a cellar and you start killing people.
Oh.
But I couldn't get it to go forward. Never mind about killing people and moving on to the next level. I just couldn't get it to go forwards. I had got no idea what I was
thought
doing.
you meant like laser questing.
And, and five-year-old children, meanwhile, are racking up millions of points and thousands of deaths, and I'm just standing there like a, you know, like a sitting duck. Yeah. But this thing, this makes gaming, well, fun, actually, because, you know, you wave the thing about in the air, and magically it appears to move your sword or gun or whatever it is that you're killing your foe with on the screen. Incredible. How do they do that, Lucy?
I don't know.
You can surf the internet with it, you can check out the weather, awful it is, and get news stories and all of that jazz, because it's dialed up to the worldwide weight, right? The DS Lite, on the other hand, is less than 2/3 the size and 20% lighter. It's a light version of the DS controller. Basically, it's a handheld thing, right? It's like a Game Boy type of thing. It's got a microphone, Wi-Fi, touch screen, the whole thing. Fantastic. Do you want one? Well, you can't have one. No people who work for the company are eligible to... Yeah,
people
exactly.
to pay.
Yeah. So to bid on this, text LBC and then your bid in pence to 88821. So if you wanted to bid 45p for this fantastic prize, which would be an absolute steal, then you would text LBC 45 to 88821. Is that clear?
Yep.
Bidders must be 16 or over. Bids cost £1.50 plus your standard network rate. See lbc.co.uk for full terms and conditions. Did I say it right?
Yeah. So they opened their big mouths, and out came talk. Talk, talk.
Hey, Gary.
Hello, Dad.
Gary.
Hi, I've just come back from seeing 28 Weeks Later.
Right.
New, sort of gory film that's out at the moment.
Yeah, no, I tried to watch 28 Days. It was one of those films that I just gave up on after the first 10 minutes. I thought, this is silly.
Really?
Is it better?
Yes. Oh, yes, because the Americans get involved, so...
Because the first one was an all-British horror film, right?
Yes. It's much the same, except there's a few sort of...
Well, don't tell us.
a few Americans involved this time.
Right.
And they cause a bit more havoc. Good old Americans for you.
But
it makes you want to go home and board up your house and
yes,
buy loads of tin food and what have you.
Suddenly there's a lot of British sci-fi films about, isn't there? That Sunshine thing, whatever that is. I'm waiting till everything comes on TV now. I refuse to go to the cinema again. I just won't do it.
But it is edge-of-the-seat stuff, this one.
Is it?
Yes.
Now, did you like the first one?
Yes, I did,
Right, okay, well then I probably will hate this one too then, because... But sometimes you do watch the first 5 minutes of a film and you just might not be in the right mood. And the amount of films that I stop watching now, I mean, it used to be that if I started something, I'd finish it, even if I was hating it. I mean, I've only ever walked out of one film. But now, if it doesn't catch me in the first 5 minutes, then it's gone. And there's just too much, because your personal video recorder just gets clogged up with all this stuff.
Tell me about it.
And you're forever having to delete things that you actually want to watch just to record things that are coming on new. So I won't give anything a chance anymore. If it hasn't caught me in the first 5 minutes, it's gone.
This one will. If you watch the sequel, it's...
All right. Well, I still won't watch the first one, but I might watch the sequel, because a lot of people are saying that it's better than the first.
Yes, but it's, take your sick bag.
All right. Thanks a lot, Gary. Cheers, mate. Ta-ra. This is LBC. I'm Nick Abbott. If you missed any part of this super show, you can always catch up on the podcast, our LBC Plus service, which is available on our website, which is lbc.co.uk. I thoroughly recommend that you sign up today. Don't I, Lucy?
You absolutely do.
Here is Peckham. Jeff.
Oh yeah, how you doing?
Hello, Jeff.
Listen, Nick, I actually work for a cinema myself, and I just noticed you say you'll never do it again, go to the cinema. Why's that?
Well, because I pay so much for my TV to get piped into my house now, with all those excellent movie channels.
Yes. So it's nothing to do with the experience of cinema, then? I thought.
Well, partly, yeah, because you go into a cinema and it smells of feet, mostly. That's true, though, isn't it?
Are they your feet?
No, unfortunately, they're other people's feet, which is worse. And it's not just feet.
Behind you.
Well, it's not the feet that makes the smell. It's old popcorn that smells like feet, and it permeates the whole place, and sticks to the carpet and the soft furnishings. It's just horrible. Plus, you'll get some Burke sitting behind you who's bought a giant bucket of popcorn and is unable to watch anything for 2 hours without grazing throughout the whole thing. And popcorn must be one of the loudest foods to eat. And slowly, they're just like sticking it in their face, chewing with their mouth open. Awful.
Well, that's cleared that one up for me then.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, cheers, mate. Plus the price. I mean, if you go to the West End, you have to sell your car to buy tickets to go and see a film in Leicester Square.
Yeah, I do think it is an enjoyable experience, though, isn't it? I like it when if I've psyched myself up to go.
Well, it depends. You see, I like to go in the middle of the afternoon.
When it's quiet.
When there's no one there. If there's no one there, then that's when I enjoy it the most. Because people are just there. I find people annoying. Just.
Really, I've never got that impression from you before.
The world would be a lot better if there were a lot fewer people in it. In it!
Now Air Miles can get you to New York twice as fast. Because we've teamed up with Lloyd's TSB to bring you the Air Miles Duo credit card account that can get you twice the miles. With 1 mile for every £10 you spend on the Lloyd's TSB Air Miles Duo American Express card, which is twice as many miles as your old NatWest Classic credit card. So you'll be hitting the stores on 5th Avenue in half the time. Apply today at airmiles.co.uk. Typical 15.9% APR variable. Credit subject to status. Conditions apply.
Nick Abbott. Come on, we're running late.
We're running late!
Couldn't find it fast enough. Bill Buckley is coming up after the new news. He's back! He was in New York, right?
He
or
was
somewhere
indeed,
posh
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Now, this is a story that I've been carrying around for a little while about a judge in America. Do you have anything to say before we finish?
No.
Anything about a wag or a... anything like that, or your little dog, or a mouse, or you want to complain, bitch and moan about your husband, anything like that?
No.
Anything that's on your chest you want to get off before we finish?
No, I think that's it.
Really? No complaints of any kind?
I'm pretty happy with my
I
lot.
find that hard to believe. Well, living in that squalid mess that you live in now, oh, it used to be beautiful where Lucy used to live. Why she ever moved is no one can quite figure it out. A bucolic picture of loveliness, it used to be. Little lambs gambling across her pea-green lawn. Little house of gingerbread, with little tweety birds fluttering by. They used to... what was that?
Oh.
What was that?
Apparently it's a macaw.
Well, that was awful.
I thought you'd enjoy
No
it.
macaws there. And then she moved into an inner-city hellhole with blood dripping from the walls and rats in the kitchen. What am's she going to do? How'd you like the new house so far, Luce?
I hate it!
Anyway, this judge, who is in Washington, as in Washington, D.C., he took his trousers to the local dry cleaners. And they lost them. This was in 2002. So they offered him £75 in compensation, which was accepted. Okay, 3 years later, shortly after being appointed as a judge, a High Court judge, or the equivalent in America, he took trousers to the same place again.
Yeah.
And guess what happened? That's right, they lost them again. And he lost his rag at this point. And they offered him £575 as compensation, so he could buy a whole new suit. And then the lawyers got involved, and then they offered him £1,500, and then £2,300, and then £6,000 in compensation, and he still wasn't happy. You see, they'd got a sign in the window that said satisfaction guaranteed, and he wasn't satisfied. So the lawyers are now have gone to this place and said, well, he needs to rent a car every weekend for several years to take his dry cleaning somewhere else, because he doesn't own a car. So we'll have you for that. He's also seeking compensation for emotional distress and legal fees. For one pair of trousers, guess how much he's now asking? It's only like a couple who run this small dry cleaning business. A judge, mind you, is asking from a dry cleaning business, like a husband and wife team that spent their years building up this business. For one pair of trousers, he wants $67 million.
On 97.3.